I thought we were going colonial today.
No, we're talking about the Colonial bedroom today.
The Colonial collection at Penny Mustard is so versatile. It can be dressed up for a grand formal look,
like me,
or dressed down for a cozy, simple feel.
It also features hidden compartments
to store your wooden teeth.
The Colonial bedroom collection, starting at just $168 a month, with only 1 penny down and no interest until May of 2027 through June 4th at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Abby Windows.
Do you know that we have over 8 different ways to install a replacement window? Most companies only have one. Not all homes are built the same, look the same, or even have the same old windows to remove. So how can you only have one way to install them? The answer is simple. It's quick and easy. Well, that's not us, and it will never be us. You can have peace of mind that the install we recommend is the one that will last a lifetime. If you want your windows installed only once and done right the first time, then call Abby today. And if somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Oh, Canada, our home of one major league team.
Here he comes. Hey, struck him out swinging. And this one is over.
The Brewers take on the Blue Jays with coverage starting tonight at 5:30 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 3 o'clock. I'm John Merkier. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Your top story, police search for the driver in another hit and run on Brady Street.
I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley in for Sandy Max. A black eye, but not feeling blue for a Brewer.
I'm Greg Matzik. Another Brewer starter hits the injured list.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Starting off with some delays right now. Southbound 41, Highway Q to the Zoo. We're looking at a 20-minute ride, so that's going to be a bit of a hefty one. You're going to see delays from about Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. Southbound 43, also going to be a bit of a heavy ride. Southbound from Good Hope Road all the way down past Silver Spring. Westbound 94, a little tight from about 27th Street all the way through the stadium. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Traffic is sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you've trusted for over 85 years. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 60. Tomorrow, more humid, chance for a pop-up storm, a high of 90 inland. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Milwaukee police are asking the public for help finding a suspect and suspected vehicle involved in a hit and run over the holiday weekend. The incident occurred early yesterday morning on Brady Street. A man was hit and critically injured while walking across the street. Police have released a photo of the silver SUV involved in the crash. Investigators believe it's a 2011 to 2017 silver Jeep Patriot with damage to the front of the hood.
And one Milwaukee alderman is renewing the call for Brady Street to be closed to vehicular traffic.
Alderman Jonathan Brostoff believes it'll make the area safer to shut down Brady Street. But retired Brady Street business owner Felix Glorioso of Glorioso's Italian Market tells WTMJ he doesn't want the street closed. He is calling for more speed bumps and stoplights.
You got 5 straight blocks where somebody can speed up intentionally or unintentionally and hurt somebody.
Glorioso's mother, Mary, was hit and killed while walking along Brady Street nearly 20 years ago. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
The Wisconsin DOT is warning drivers about yet another hazard.
The warmer temperatures this week is making for ideal conditions for the dreaded pavement buckle. That's when the weather goes quickly from cool to very hot. It causes the pavement to expand and push against other slabs of pavement, and with enough pressure, that pavement can buckle and create bumps or dips. Tips to keep in mind: slow down, pay attention to the roadway, and watch for slowing traffic. Be ready to move over for repair crews. Debbie Laziga, WTMJ News.
Elizabeth Holmes, the disgraced CEO of the biotech firm Theranos, has begun serving her 11-year prison sentence for defrauding her investors out of hundreds of millions of dollars.
Holmes turned herself into the minimum security women's federal prison in Bryan, Texas. It's about 100 miles north of Houston. It comes about a year after she was convicted of 4 felony counts of fraud and conspiracy. Her claims that Theranos technology could scan for various diseases from just a finger prick of blood were proven false.
Every time you create something new, there should be questions. And to me, that's a sign that you've actually done something that is transformative.
Holmes has also been ordered to pay back investors $450 million. Chris Fox, for CBS News, Austin.
Brewers shortstop Willy Adames is said to be feeling better after he was hit in the head by a foul ball in the dugout on Friday. He's now on the injured list with a concussion. Manager Craig Counsell tells Wisconsin's Morning News Adames is recovering.
All things considered, he got very lucky. Looks like he's been in a fight. Got a big black eye, but he's doing well.
No word yet on when he'll return. The Brewers are in Toronto starting a series against the Blue Jays tonight. Coverage here begins about 5:30.
Another Brewers regular hits the injured list. Greg has more in sports coming up next.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 3:04.
This report is sponsored by Creative Planning. Give your wealth a second look. CreativePlanning.com.
Wealth-changing question. Is your investment portfolio really customized? Some advisors say they customize them, but all they really do is ask you a few questions, then put all your money in a model portfolio. Here at Creative Planning, each of our private wealth management clients' portfolios is unique. Your investment mix will be based on your custom financial plan. If that's not how your money's managed, you're not getting the customization you deserve. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Jump into summer fun when the Brewers battle the Oakland Athletics. Friday, June 9th through Sunday the 11th. Get half-price tickets for any seat with the 5-county Friday offer at the series opener. And rep MKE all summer long with the City Connect Brewers flag giveaway at the game on Saturday the 10th. Grab your seats now at brewers.com/promotions.
Wisconsin weather can put a damper on things, but don't let it ruin your outdoor plans. Sister Bay Furniture is furniture built in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Built from premium, sustainable materials, Sister Bay Furniture endures the grueling conditions of Wisconsin weather. That's commercial-grade quality for your outdoor space. Stop by their showroom today, located out in Sussex on Executive Drive, or visit their website today at sisterbayfurniture.com. Sister Bay Furniture, built in Wisconsin for Wisconsin.
Fleet Farm is your one-stop shop for everything lawn and garden. This week only, take 25% off all hanging baskets. Or pick up Farm Fresh Select 6-inch annuals for just $3.99. Plus, choose from our wide selection of vegetables and more in the garden center. And with our price match guarantee, you will always get the lowest price on your backyard essentials. Don't miss out on lawn and garden savings this week at Fleet Farm.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzek.
Well, somehow the Brewers are still in first place in the NL Central. Despite losing 3 of 4 to the Giants, Brewers begin the day 2 games ahead of the Pirates for first place in the division. Willy Adames not with the team in Toronto. He continues to recover from a concussion. He exited Friday's game against the Giants after being struck in the face with a line drive in the dugout.
He's doing well. We saw him yesterday and Sunday and yesterday, and everything is, not doing activity right now, but feels great. So as the next couple of days go on, we'll probably have a better idea that he'll just start some kind of light activity and see how that makes him feel, and we'll get a good sense from that as to when he can come back.
Craig Counsell, the guest on Wisconsin's Morning News earlier today. Meanwhile, Jesse Winker placed on the 10-day injured list, retroactive to May 28th with a cervical strain. Infielder Abraham Toro recalled from AAA Nashville. Brewers and Blue Jays tonight. Coverage gets underway at 5:30 on WTMJ. For the 7th time since 2006, the Miami Heat are in the NBA Finals. Game 1 against the Nuggets will be played Thursday night in Denver. 76ers will hire former Raptors head coach Nick Nurse to replace Doc Rivers. One of Nurse's assistants, Adrian Griffin, will reportedly be hired by the Bucks, according to Shams Charania.
They went through a finalist process of Nick Nurse, Adrian Griffin, Kenny Atkinson, and interestingly, they all met one-on-one with Giannis before any hiring was made. And then ownership, Giannis, John Horst, their general manager in Milwaukee, they all huddled up afterward to figure out exactly who the coach would be.
Yeah, Griffin began his NBA coaching career, John, with the Bucks under Scott Skiles. He's always been a defensive-minded sort of guy. But Giannis has 2 years until his player option. Anything you do with this roster, anything you do with this staff, must be put through the filter. Will it help us keep Giannis? And if the answer to that question is no, you don't do it. If the answer is yes, then you do it.
Yeah.
And it seems like this is a yes.
And this roster is likely to be different, too. There are a lot of parts that are in play this offseason.
Yeah, 9 free agents, including Chris Middleton and Brooke Lopez.
Wow. 3:08 at WTMJ, the 3 at 3 up next.
This report is sponsored by the Froedtert Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network.
Offering a memory disorder program that's first of its kind in Wisconsin isn't just about innovation. It's about providing thorough diagnoses to improve treatments and help people live better. And our advanced brain imaging doesn't just further our knowledge. It's to help MS sufferers and their families find a treatment plan that's right for them. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Neuroscience Institute, we use our cutting-edge research to advance science and help resolve the toughest neurovascular disorders, all to help people. We're a nationally recognized leader in the diagnosis and treatment of complex disorders of the brain. And our comprehensive approach means that a range of specialists will provide you with a personalized plan, from early diagnosis through treatment and recovery. That's doing everything humanly possible in brain and neurovascular care, all so you can keep being you. To see a specialist with the expertise to help you, go to Froedtert.com/neuro.
The new Raid Essentials Light Trap uses light to attract, then trap flying insects like fruit flies and mosquitoes. For insecticide protection that's people and pet friendly, get new Raid Essential Light Trap.
For your new roof, we'll give you the hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty in the industry. You can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John McCure.
Hey, hope your Tuesday's going great. Feels like a Monday, right? Except it's Tuesday. Everybody's here. Greg is here. Wyatt's here, and for Sandy, Debbie's here. Adam's producing the show this afternoon. All right, let's get to it.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's afternoon news.
All right, Wyatt, where should we start?
Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport is expanding their flight options for numerous destinations across the country.
This is good stuff. So a healthy airport is a good airport. It's a reflection of the region. Southwest, adding daily nonstop flights to Kansas City beginning in July. Southwest is adding frequency to some routes they already have. Places like Atlanta, Denver, Fort Myers, Orlando, St. Louis. This comes after Southwest announced that they are adding frequency to Baltimore, Vegas, and Nashville. Sun Country Airlines, which is based out of Minneapolis, adding new routes between Minneapolis and Milwaukee for as low as $49 each way. Delta adding flights to Salt Lake City. Alaska adding more flights to Seattle. It's good news for our airport and good news for travelers who are looking for options. I love these kind of stories.
$49 is no joke. That is
For
very
real.
affordable.
Yeah, that's serious. And those run through Labor Day weekend. So if you want to get to Minneapolis on the cheap and don't want to drive all those hours, check out Sun Country this summer.
Alas, I live at the radio station.
What is the second thing in the 3 at 3?
One of our area's most recognizable ethnic festivals is seeing a downturn in their sponsorships ahead of opening day on June 9th.
So here's what that means. We're talking about Polish Fest, and they're like the big first one out of the gate. It runs June 9th through the 11th down at the festival grounds. So what that means is because they have less sponsorship stuff, they are looking to cut costs. The biggest thing that the public will see is that they're transitioning from draft beer to canned beer. Not a big deal. That's the primary thing people will see. They say it'll provide cost savings because of less wasted beer, so it'll be in a can instead of out of the tap. And they're also changing their advertising to focus on the Chicago market with their big Polish population. Free admission this year on the Sunday. For guests who enter early in the day before 10:30 in the morning, they can check out the Catholic Mass that's down there. Polish Fest gets underway June 9th. That's a fun festival.
Yeah, me and my partner have actually had this circled for a year because we missed last year's right after we moved here. My partner loves Polish food, so we are in attendance.
You got to check it out.
Hopefully we'll get their sponsorships back up.
They're hoping for 30,000 people this year down there. They were just under that last year.
I can contribute 2.
We're going to count on you for that. What's the third thing?
All right, the $7 million lake house of fired Bucks head coach Mike Budenholzer is now on the market if you're looking for an upgrade.
Yeah, Okachi Lake in the town of Merton, 8,400 square feet. So Coach Bud bought the house for about $1.7 million and fully gutted it, fully renovated the whole thing. Now it's listed for $7 million. Check this out. Features an outdoor pool, a hot tub, boathouse, pier, golf simulator, fitness room, 5 bedrooms, 6.5 baths. Did I mention it's 8,400 square feet?
It's a nice house. I've seen it from the lake before. It's got a great view of the lake, nice frontage, nice hill that goes down to the water. a Tudor-style house. Very nice.
Let's go in together.
We should pool in on it, yes.
All right, the three of us.
Yeah, all good.
Deb's probably in. Let's go in together.
Hey, Deb. Uh-huh.
He also had a house he used to in Fox Point, and he also had a condo in the 3rd Ward. So now Coach Bud is like out of the Milwaukee real estate
He's a big
market
lake guy.
big time.
He's a big lake guy, that's for sure.
Yeah. That is the 3 at 3 for this Tuesday afternoon, May 30th. Up next, the best in the business, CBS Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett on the latest on that debt ceiling debate in Washington and why it matters. I love the Fox and Hounds restaurant. Was in there not that long ago. It's historic, and it was recently voted the best supper club in the area. Number 1, top of the list. It first opened in 1933, and they've been serving fabulous dinners for almost 90 years in that rustic timber building. It's gorgeous. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free 7 days a week. Enjoy a world-class steak, seafood, pasta, big fresh salad, even the steak and lobster. Anything on the menu, your second dinner's free. Made from scratch desserts, too. You know me, you know I got a sweet tooth, and I love that dessert platter. Add a Manhattan, an old-fashioned. Choose from over 100 wines to accent your dinner. The Fox and Hounds is family-owned, one of the most unique and affordable supper clubs in Wisconsin. Your second dinner is always free. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill in the shadows of the beautiful shrine. The summer drive is spectacular. They've got a beer garden out there I was in last time. Absolutely a must-see. Brighten up your Tuesday with a free dinner tonight. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. It'll lift your spirits.
As the weather starts warming up, you're probably thinking about the golf course or the lake.
Or that honey-do list.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, you probably don't want to think about painting your house again.
Jeff and Roxanne here with Rhino Shield, and we are the better-than-paint people.
Rhino Shield is an exclusive ceramic coating system that looks just like paint, is applied just like paint, but comes in any color, just like paint.
Especially your wife's favorite.
But it's not paint.
Regular paint is going to last 3 to 5 years. Rhino Shield has been proven to last for at least 25 years.
We are so confident in Rhino Shield that we give you a written 25-year transferable warranty. That's right, transferable warranty.
Get 25% off that 25-year warranty if you book by the 25th. Call 262-900-4055 or visit rhinoshield.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Traffic is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. Retire well with Kowal.
When was the last time you had a second opinion on your retirement plan? If you have $750,000 or more, schedule your retirement review with one of our fiduciary advisors at thekowalway.com.
Traffic and weather. All right, Deb, how we doing?
Well, we got an accident on southbound 43. It's kind of sort of between Capitol Drive and Keefe. It's in the center lane, though, so everybody's kind of swerving around there. That's just after the Capitol Drive on-ramp, so just be extra careful. We're up to 18 minutes and growing from Brown Deer Road into downtown. Otherwise, southbound 41, also going to be a bit backed up. 20 minutes of a ride from Highway Q to the zoo. That's not because of an accident, but because of your general delays happening between Silver Spring and Burleigh. The rest of the system not looking too bad. We are seeing a little bit of a backup through the stadium interchange on westbound 894, but it's definitely doable. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 60. Tomorrow, warm, humid, maybe a pop-up shower, a high of 90. On Thursday, another shot at maybe a pop-up shower, more humidity, a high near 90. On Friday, slight chance for rain, a high of 88. Saturday, sunny, a high of 80. Each of those days, a little bit cooler along the lake. Right now in Milwaukee, my goodness, it's gorgeous. It's sunny. It's 75 degrees. Breaking news this afternoon, the Pentagon reporting that a Chinese jet intercepted a U.S. plane and it was unsafe. It was very close. There's cockpit video that's coming in. Just what is going on in that part of the world? Major Garrett is CBS's chief Washington correspondent. He is the creator of the Takeout podcast heard on WTMJ. His book is The Big Truth. Major's got a busy afternoon, but has carved out a little bit of time for us. Thank you so much, Major.
Good afternoon. Great to be with you, John.
Good to be with you, too. Hope you had a great weekend. I want to ask you about the debt limit and where we are, because as we speak, there's a meeting going on, I believe, in the Capitol with the Rules Committee. Explain to people what the Rules Committee means and where we are in the process and where we go from here.
Sure. The Rules Committee is the leadership committee that establishes the rules for any substantial piece of legislation that goes to the House floor for debate and passage. So the Rules Committee sets the terms of debate. Is it going to be 5 hours of debate? How many amendments will be in order on the House floor, et cetera, et cetera? And it is a tool of the majority party. That's how the majority party enforces its will in the House of Representatives, because the Senate is different from the House. Once a piece of legislation goes to the floor of the Senate, any senator can offer an amendment. That's not how it works in the House. Amendments are only ruled in order through the Rules Committee. So what's happening now is the majority party, the House Republicans, are organizing the rules for debate on the bill to raise the debt ceiling and do other things. It's a little bit more unusual this time because there are some members of that House Rules Committee who've expressed opposition to this piece of legislation. That almost never happens. Why? Because, as I said before, the Rules Committee is an instrument of the leadership. And when the leadership says, send this bill to the floor, that's what happens. It's a little bit more uncertain right now. But just before I got on the phone with you, John, I talked to Tom Emmer, Republican from Minnesota, who also happens to be the majority whip, the chief vote counter for the House Republican leadership. He said the bill will get through the Rules Committee. It will take a few hours. There might be a little bit of drama here and there, but it will get through the Rules Committee. It will be on the floor tomorrow, and in all likelihood, pass tomorrow night.
Wow, that's great information. Major Garrett is with us on WTMJ. It seems that we're learning in real firsthand time what Kevin McCarthy had to give up to become Speaker. I mean, that's part of why the mess is existing on the Rules Committee, right?
Yeah, so this is one of the classic rules of politics. When you have people who are in the same room, who have different agendas, they hear different things. I also ran this by Tom Emmer, and this gets into a little bit of granularity, but it's important. So there are 9 members of the Republican Party on the Rules Committee. Some members, those were the last holdouts to vote for Kevin McCarthy to be Speaker, believe that McCarthy told them that nothing would come to the floor of the House through the Rules Committee unless all 9 Republicans voted on that. Kevin McCarthy said that's not true. I never said that. That's what they heard, though. I just run it by Tom Emmer, who said I was in the room. That's not what Kevin McCarthy said. That's not the understanding I had. They may have heard something differently. I said, are they mischaracterizing it in public now? Well, they might be. I don't know. I don't want to say that because no Republican wants to accuse another Republican of lying or misstating something. It's all being discussed in the terminology of, well, they heard something different than what was actually said. Whatever. If you're an instrument of the House leadership, which the Rules Committee is, you've got to do what leadership says and move things to the floor. That's ultimately going to happen, but we'll probably have a moment or two of drama between now and then.
So, Major, the Freedom Caucus on the right doesn't like it. A couple of those members are on the Rules Committee. AOC and others on the left, they don't like this at all. Is this going to come down to moderates in both caucuses coming together to pass?
So-called moderates. I mean, if you listen to Republicans, there's no such thing as a moderate Democrat. If you listen to Democrat, there's no such thing as a moderate Republican because everyone sees everyone else as an extremist. But in the end, this will pass with a bipartisan coalition in both the House and the Senate. And some progressives, my guess is, will vote for this, and some conservative, though not archly Trumpian conservative Republicans will vote for it, and they'll find ways to explain that. In the end, this will pass because default is unconscionable. It would do immediate and material damage to the U.S. economy. It would weaken the global economy, all unnecessarily. And so we're going to get closer than we should, in my estimation, to that date of June 5th, rather, not January, June 5th, which is what the Treasury Secretary has identified as the default date. We'll get right up against it. I talked to a Republican senator today who said this could pass at 3 a.m. on June 6th, so it could pass over it, but it'll be so early in the morning no one will notice. I'm like, but people will remember. We're playing with fire here. And he said, you're absolutely right. We're playing with fire here. But this ultimately, to your question and to the answer of it is, some progressives on the Democratic side will vote yes. Some conservatives will vote yes. And it will pass with a bipartisan coalition. Guess what? That's what you have to have in divided government.
So the deal would suspend the debt limit to January 2025. I suppose, Major, it's no coincidence that would be just past the next presidential election.
No coincidence at all. And a key word is suspension, because Republicans don't want to say they voted to increase the debt ceiling. They just want to say they want to suspend its application. It's rhetorical gymnastics, but for them, politically, they feel it's safer than to say they voted to increase the debt ceiling. They're just voting to suspend it until after the election. But the key thing is, and this was vital for President Biden, he did not want to have this argument again next year. When the House passed its bill, it only increased the debt ceiling until March of next year. President Biden did not want to go through this whole process again in the teeth of a presidential election in a few months. So the key victory, such as it is, for the White House is moving this off of the agenda until after the next presidential election, leaving it to that Congress and whoever that president is, President Biden or the Republican nominee, to sort it out.
Major Garrett is CBS's chief Washington correspondent. His Takeout podcast you hear here on WTMJ. As we came on and we're introducing you, new video was released of an intercepted U.S. warplane intercepted by the Chinese. You can see the plane. The planes are, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a mile apart from each other. How big a threat militarily is China to the United States?
So it is not a direct military threat in the sense, and this is what people at the Pentagon say, it's what people in the think tank community that I talk to regularly about this describe. It's not as if the United States and China are ready to go to war directly at each other over anything other than a possible invasion of Taiwan. And it would be over if the Chinese were to invade Taiwan, to take it back, in their estimation, make it fully part of China against the Taiwanese wishes. The United States government has made clear we will defend Taiwan. That would be a direct clash with China over a very small piece of land in the middle of the South China Sea. There are lots of wargaming exercises that both countries go through on that kind of conflict. No one believes that's inevitable, but it is possible, not probable, but possible. Intercepts like this in the sky are not uncommon, but they should always raise attention because both nations know what the proper professional procedure is to check somebody out in the air, not get too close, and respond to communications. And when they don't, both nations flag it because it's more aggressive than it should be. And anything in this atmosphere that's more aggressive than it should be can be misinterpreted and can lead to bigger problems.
Major Garrett is CBS's chief Washington correspondent. Check out his book, The Big Truth. Major, always good to have you with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, John.
It is 3:26 at WTMJ. Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update on your Tuesday. Stocks drifting today as those debt ceiling talks and the drama lingers. The S&P 500 closed flat at 4205. The Dow was down 50 points to close at 3342. And the NASDAQ rose a third of a point, 41 points to close at 13017. The Russell 2000 was down on the day. Crude oil down, gold up, silver down. Annex Wealth Management. It's time to calibrate your plan. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button today.
You might have heard the old saying, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. The team at Annex Wealth Management tends to agree. Look at every inflation battle for the past 60 years. While not every facet is the same, there sure are similarities. Knowledge is power. How are you with financial rhymes? Do you know how previous investors did in the battle against inflation? Who succeeded? Who didn't? Our team of experts with a diversity of experience, insight, and opinion is what sets Annex Wealth Management apart. It's a team that works together to do what's in our clients' best interests. One team allows Annex to take a holistic approach to financial planning. And face it, that's something a do-it-yourselfer, one-person shop, or an inexperienced firm might find too challenging. Take a quick look at the headlines. We're not out of the woods yet. It's time for a seasoned team, a team that's seen it before, a team equipped to guide you on the path to where you're headed. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. AnnexWealth.com.
Eric Bilstead from Wisconsin's Morning News for J.D. Griffiths. For more than 75 years, J.D. Griffiths has been a leader in detached garage builds and premier garage doors. My wife and I have a house about 20 years old. We knew it was time. It needed an upgrade. The doors in the front of the house just looked a little dingy, banged up, so we went to jdgriffiths.com. That's the website, jdgriffiths.com. We got a free at-home estimate, and away we went. Just a few weeks later, brand new doors, and they look great. We were able to customize. We got a great look there. We have some windows now, so I get some nice natural light. And the garage doors are just one of the many things J.D. Griffiths does. They also, remember, detached garage builds as well, and they'll even service issues you're having with your garage doors currently. J.D. Griffiths and jdgriffiths.com. Go to the website now. Get your free at-home estimate set up. J.D. Griffiths and jdgriffiths.com.
A driver who isn't wearing their seatbelt may get a ticket. A driver who isn't wearing their seatbelt during a crash may not make it home. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Turn your home into restricted airspace. Tell incoming flights you want them diverted. The new Raid Essentials Light Trap plugs into the wall and uses light to attract, then trap flying insects like fruit flies and mosquitoes. Its 24/7 continuous attraction provides insecticide-free protection that's people and pet friendly. Consider air service interrupted. New Raid Essentials Light Trap, insecticide-free protection.
A driver who isn't wearing their seatbelt may get a ticket. A driver who isn't wearing their seatbelt during a crash may not make it home. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
While you're navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329. Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: looking for a hit-and-run driver.
I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley in for Sandy Mack. Staying safe at your campsite.
I'm Greg Matze. The Bucks locate their coach.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we do have an accident southbound 43 right at the end of the Capitol Drive on-ramp just before Keith. We had it in the center lane. Now it's blocking the right lane. Tow truck's on the scene. Hopefully it'll get out of there soon. But 31 minutes to get from Brown Deer Road to downtown. That is a 20-minute backup. Otherwise, westbound on 94, you are seeing backups out of the 27th Street area all the way through the stadium. And then 41 southbound's going to be heavy from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
Tonight, partly cloudy, low 60 degrees. Tomorrow, more humid, very warm, a high of 88 inland. Right now, it's 75 in Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Milwaukee police are asking the public for help, finding a suspect and suspected vehicle involved in a hit-and-run over the holiday weekend. The incident occurred early Monday morning on Brady Street. A man was hit and critically injured while crossing the street. Police have released a photo of the silver SUV involved in the crash. Investigators believe it's a 2011 to 2017 silver Jeep Patriot with damage to the front of the hood.
One Milwaukee alderman is renewing the call for Brady Street to be closed to all vehicular traffic.
Alderman Jonathan Brostoff believes it'll make the area safer to shut down Brady Street. But retired Brady Street business owner Felix Glorioso of Glorioso's Italian Market tells WTMJ he doesn't want the street closed. He is calling for more speed bumps and stoplights.
You got 5 straight blocks where somebody can speed up intentionally or unintentionally and hurt somebody.
Glorioso's mother, Mary, was hit and killed while walking along Brady Street nearly 20 years ago. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
The House Rules Committee today reviewing the debt ceiling package named the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Republican Chair Tom Cole of Oklahoma opening the meeting by saying the Fiscal Responsibility Act is the result of tough negotiation.
Today's bill is a product of compromise and reflects the realities of a divided government. We shouldn't allow that to overshadow what this bill accomplishes.
Negotiations still continue in Congress to determine if the deal has the votes to pass.
Now that the camping season has started, the DNR has a few tips for you to stay safe.
Whether it's high risk or low risk, we want to follow those good safety protocols.
The DNR's Karina Renier says, especially with the current dry spell, safety is key.
Making your fire in the fire ring that's provided. Don't leave that campfire unattended. Keep that water nearby, and before you crawl into your sleeping bag at the end of the night, douse your fire really well, stir it, douse it again.
Along with that, she reminds everyone to only buy firewood local to the campground you're visiting. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Authorities are investigating what caused a train to derail near Devil's Lake State Park on Sunday. 2 train cars jumped the tracks but were not carrying hazardous materials. Conservation Warden Supervisor Sean Neverman tells News 3 Now.
The wardens on property responded, met with railroad staff, assessed the situation, cleared the road of any blockage, and ensured there was no public safety concern.
The railroad company is working on a cleanup plan for the overturned rail cars.
What goes up always comes down. Kenosha police urging people not to shoot guns in the air after a squad car was struck by gunfire. The squad was hit over the weekend. Nobody was inside at the time. The department says the bullet was likely fired into the air, coming down and hitting the car.
How big a role did Giannis play in the Bucks coaching search? Greg shares his insight next in sports.
Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:34.
John Mercure here for Town Bank. Town Bank, part of the Wintrust family of community banks, is the real deal. The bank knows that you're working toward a financial goal, and every little bit counts. When you open a total access checking account now at Town Bank, you'll get free ATMs nationwide and a $300 bonus. I've got this checking account. It's fantastic. I've got a daughter in New York, another one in Texas. When we travel, it's free ATMs. It's the real deal. No matter what goals you've set, Town Bank can help you achieve them with banking solutions like entrepreneur checking, small business loans, and more. And parents, it's never too early to start teaching your kids about money. This year, help them take the first step toward a healthy financial future with a Junior Savers account. With the Junior Savers account, children earn interest on every dollar they deposit, plus they'll have access to activities and giveaways throughout the year. At my bank, it's Dan and Matt, and they take care of me big time. And there's a Dan and Matt at every single Town Bank location, no matter what city you're in. To learn more about Town Bank, check it out at townbank.us. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Simply Yours sofa from Penny Mustard is like a choose-your-own-adventure book.
Because you choose your own features.
Arm style, cushions, back, legs, finish, fabric, color, everything.
If you choose to slay the dragon, turn to page 34.
But to choose a sofa that's the envy of all your friends, turn to Penny Mustard.
The Simply Yours sofa, starting at $46 a month, with just 1 penny down and no interest until May of 2027, through June 4th at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
You're gonna love it all when you shop at St. Vincent de Paul. Old things, new things here for you. We're always changing, we're always new. So many friendly people, smiles from wall to wall. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
Well, the Milwaukee Bucks offseason to-do list is getting a little shorter. Work out a long-term contract extension with Giannis, carve out a plan for free agents Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez. Oh, and hire a new head coach. The latter, though not finalized, is expected to be soon. Former Bucks assistant Adrian Griffin will replace Mike Budenholzer.
The fact that Giannis was so involved in the process, a couple years out from his player option, I think is very noticeable. But from what I'm told, Giannis was pretty vehemently against any other candidate.
Shams Charania of The Athletic, and the other two serious candidates were Nick Nurse and Kenny Atkinson, all of whom met with Giannis last week. Nurse is set to become the next head coach of the 76ers. NBA Finals begin Thursday night in Denver with the Nuggets taking on the Miami Heat. Could be an exciting spring for Florida. The Florida Panthers begin the Stanley Cup Finals Friday against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. University of Texas hiring former Wisconsin head coach Paul Chryst as an offensive analyst and special teams assistant to head coach Steve Sarkisian. And the Brewers take the field tonight in Toronto. It's game one of a 3-game series against the Blue Jays. Adrian Hauser hasn't allowed a run in his last 11 1/3 innings.
There's a confidence to him right now. He's pitching with a lot of confidence. I think Williams doing a fabulous job with him as well. The fastball is very good. The sinker and the four-seam fastball are really good. And the off-speeds, he's getting some strikes with his off-speed stuff.
Milwaukee begins the day 2 games ahead of the Pirates for first place in the NL Central. And the Packers will host a pair of joint practices with the Bengals ahead of their preseason game Friday, August 11th.
All right, Greg Matzik, the moment has arrived. We're pretty excited about this. Greg's been growing his hair for more than a month, and there's a lot of hair there, bro.
It's more than I thought.
We're going to tell you how that came about, and more importantly, you got to watch the live stream because after the break, we're going to shave Greg's hair. He's taking it down. It's coming off. We're going to do that after the break. You can see the video feed always at WTMJ.com. There's a watch live button. You hit there. You can watch the show. We have state-of-the-art cameras now set up in the studio, or we have a YouTube page. You can watch it there. So get in front of the feed. Up next, Greg Matzik, back to bald at WTMJ.
This report's sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
The next time you run a faucet, think Isaiah Rogers. And while you savor that hot morning shower, give a shout out to Edwin Rood. And the trusty toilet? Well, that was conceived by the great Thomas Crapper. Yes, that's his real name. Here at Mr. Holland's Home Services, we celebrate the plumbing legends of the past and perpetually plan for the future. Our proficient plumbing prodigies stay ahead of the pack with the latest innovative innovations. From drippy faucets and clogged drains to faulty sump pumps and money and space-saving tankless water heaters, Mr. Holland's crew brings Hall of Fame service to you. Join us in a 21 flush salute to the plumbing pioneers of the past, including Sir Hugh Dalrymple, who invented hollow pipe drainage, and whose name is also fun to say, but not as much fun as Thomas Crapper. 866-992-1717, or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. If you're ready for history-making service, we can help.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
Where do the days go? Seems like only yesterday, and really it was more than a month ago, that you so generously supported Greg Matzek golfing 100 holes for the MAC Fund, and we were raising money, and we were laughing and having fun, and Greg decided if we could raise $7,500 that he would grow his hair out. No one in the building, except for like one or two people, has ever come close to seeing Greg Matzek with hair. He's beautifully bald.
I wasn't alive the last time it happened.
Thanks for that, Wyatt. Yeah,
we figured that out the last time I hosted.
Yeah, it's always something. Yeah, at the time I started this, the Bucks were still playing, and now they have a new head coach and are out of the playoffs.
Wow,
so
that's really good perspective.
1 month.
So how much money do we end up raising?
So we ended up raising about $8,500, and the goal was to get to $7,500. And I would give this a shot.
Awesome.
I said I'll do it for at least a month. We'll see how it goes. My wife has been very polite about the whole thing. Others encouraged me to grow a beard and mustache along with it. So I've kind of done an overall transformation here.
You really have. I can't remember what you look like. I'm looking forward to remembering what the old Greg looks like.
Okay, I am too.
So we've been growing it for a month. I say we.
Yeah.
We've
Thanks.
been growing it for a month. And the last week, it seems like it really started to get long.
Well, it got to a point where not only did it look messy, but it felt like I could comb it. There was a weird point where I knew it was messy, but I couldn't do anything with it. I threw a little water in it and kind of matted it down.
Have you been combing it or brushing it?
Just a little bit, just because it really looks disheveled when I wake up in the morning.
Oh, see, yes, you got hair.
It's grown in the pattern that I thought it would. It's this whole horseshoe kind of thing.
Yeah.
We'll forget about the top and just give you some color on the sides.
Okay, so here's the deal. We took a picture almost every single day of Greg while this was happening, and we put together a time lapse. If you want to, the shaver's getting ready. If you want to see the time lapse, it's very easy. Text the word hair to the Old National Bank talk and text line. Text the word hair.
I haven't even seen this.
And you will be taken to a link. You'll see Greg 1 month ago, beautifully bald, and then you'll see today with all his hair coming in. So text the word hair to the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620. It's pretty remarkable. Our digital team put together this little time lapse.
Oh, sure enough, it works.
Yeah. And be sitting in front of your camera right now because let's do this. You've got a couple big events coming up. You want your summer due back. So are we gonna take off the hair now?
I want my freedom back, John. What are the rules in doing this?
Can you just do the hair like on the?
I can
on the desktop console.
Well, I'm a little nervous about it. Let me slide it across.
You didn't bring a towel or something to lay down so it could catch all the hair?
A lot of hair, Deb. I don't think
That's a lot of hair. I know.
We need a woman, Deb. You're thinking about all the things we should have thought.
I'm just saying because my husband does this too over the sink, which drives me nuts.
Oh, wow, that's coming off.
Oh, it sure is.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
I got a good chunk.
You see that streak?
You got to do it in stripes.
It seems to be staying in the clippers, which is good.
That's good. Oh, there. Now some fell out.
That was a big one. That landed on my lap. So everything I've collected is now on the counter, for better or for worse.
That's considerable hair coming off your head.
Well, a considerable hair grew here, John.
Yeah, Deb, we need the Dyson. Oh, my God, look, it's starting to look like Greg.
It's funny looking at him dead on because the right side of Greg now has no hair. The left side of Greg still has hair, so the uneven look is really something to behold.
Oh, wow. There's a lot up there.
Oh, this is fun.
There's
a lot.
This is okay.
All
No, he's just going to take it down to a certain level. He won't be able to like actually take out the
We've got
shaving
some,
cream and shave it.
We've got some live viewers at the studios as well as online.
I've got clippers.
Right.
Normally, I'd be putting a blade up here, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that in the studio. That requires a little
Wow.
more precision.
You are
You're going to have to pull your ear down there, Greg.
Yeah, right behind your right ear.
Yeah, let me know if you need help. My partner has a buzz cut, so I'm actually pretty good at getting the spots that you can't see.
Oh
yeah,
my
we
gosh,
talked
look
about that
look
earlier this morning.
look
Like,
at
we
that.
need somebody to actually do my hair, but not feeling good about it.
Yeah, Greg said, no way. I'm doing this myself.
I'll take care of it.
Look at all that hair coming
A lot
out.
of it's coming out.
That is a pile of hair.
This is why we stream the show.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. Greg's going to continue to shave the head. He's about halfway through.
Am I?
We will check in. You stay tuned to the live feed, and you can check out exactly what's happening. He looks like Greg. I forgot what he looked like before. But now you have a beard. So, all right, here's what we're going to do. Greg continues to shave his head. We continue the show. Up next, parents are losing confidence in sending their kids to four-year schools. Do you inherently believe as a parent that your kid needs to go to a four-year university? Just cracking.
Some college-educated folks on the air right now doing this. So
That's right, exactly.
See how far it got me?
We have that discussion up next as the hair trimming continues.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft grace zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
CPAP is one option that can be used to keep the throat open at night. It can work. There are other ways of keeping that airway open other than the machine. Another option that most people have never heard of is an oral appliance. An oral appliance is like a retainer that you wear when you're sleeping at night. It's super slim, slides in your mouth, and what it does is it helps to keep your airway open. That's exactly what a CPAP machine does. Most people who are good candidates for a CPAP machine to treat their sleep apnea are also good candidates for an oral appliance. Most of those people never get offered an oral appliance. Advent has decided to change the practice of medicine in this country by offering oral appliances to our patients. And what that means is we are allowing our patients to have the choice of a CPAP machine oral appliance when they have sleep apnea, and that's a big deal.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventNows.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
When you say Hasselus Mattress doesn't have employees, it's not a trick just so you can jump out and yell, "Surprise!" Right?
No.
So, no surprises?
Well, now through Monday, get a $200 credit on your new Sealy Posturepedic or Beaterest mattress just for shopping local.
I'm feeling faint.
Free next day delivery, too. Surprise! Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
How's it going over there?
Is Roto-Rooter our next sponsor?
Yeah, it sounds like Roto-Rooter.
Yeah, very appropriate,
in the studio.
right? I don't know what to do with
He
this
looks
pile
like,
of hair.
He looks like the old guy. That's amazing. Traffic is sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you trusted for over 85 years. How are we
He needs
doing
a
now?
mirror. All right. Well, southbound on 43, still dealing with this accident just at the end of the Capitol Drive on-ramp. We've got big delays all the way back to Brown Deer Road with it. Be careful with that. It's 36 minutes to get from Brown Deer Road into downtown. Southbound on 41, a little bit heavy from Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. Westbound 94, pretty typical stuff, leaving the 25th Street area all the way through the stadium. That's where you're seeing those delays on 94. It's about 8 minutes to get from downtown to the zoo. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 60 degrees. Tomorrow, humid, Chance for a thunderstorm, maybe a high of 90. On Thursday, warm and humid, high of 90. Pop-up shower possible. Friday, the same with a high of 88. Saturday, sunny, a high of 80. Each day, these are going to be hit-and-miss showers and no certain rain for anybody. Every day, a little cooler along the lake, but it's going to be a hot week. Right now in Milwaukee, sunny and 73 degrees. Greg Matzek shaving his head for the first time in a month. Look at that.
I made some progress there.
Yeah, oh, my God. Looks like the old Greg.
I got a big old pile of hair next to the board here. I got to make sure it doesn't get into the equipment.
I say it looks like the old Greg, except you have a beard. Well, I had never seen you with a beard either.
Yeah, I might hang on to that
the
for a
beard
little
looks
bit.
pretty good.
And Mrs. Matzek seems to like it.
You've kept it trimmed up, too.
Yes,
it looks
that
good.
I've trimmed. I've not touched the top of my head. I did do some beard trimming.
Does your head feel lighter now? It's light and airy now?
Nice. This is nice. I feel I got my twinkle back.
You feel good?
A little bit.
I'm planning to get a haircut on Friday, but I feel like there's going to be far less fanfare when that happens, even though there's going to be
I got your back.
Be a lot more hair coming off.
Oh, here, somebody here.
Go over by
here,
Matzek.
Wide, just real
Let
quick.
Matzek take care of it for you.
No,
He's a professional.
I'm not feeling bald today.
Okay, now this is
We got
very
multiple
good
guards.
because let's just get right to it. Earlier today, we were trying to figure out how we were going to do this segment.
John, I got a nose trimmer too. If you want that, I can like this thing up.
Wow, you got all the tools. And earlier today, we were talking about how to do this. Someone suggested, maybe it was Adam, I don't remember, that Wyatt can just let Wyatt do your hair. And Greg was like, no, I'm doing this myself.
It wasn't a Wyatt thing.
I know.
It was just
He
like,
said,
I'm doing
it
my own.
myself.
I did all the legwork on this. I'm doing my own hair.
All right, I bring it up because just now we looked at Wyatt. Wyatt, you need a haircut.
I do.
And you offered to cut
It's
Wyatt's
dire.
hair.
Oh, sure,
and
yeah.
Wyatt's like, no, you're not cutting my hair. So you guys are on opposite side of this big, beautiful studio. Neither one of you wants the other one to touch the other guy's hair. Michelle cuts my hair. Like, I have not paid for a haircut in 35 years.
Looks nice.
Thank you. What about the money I've saved? What does a haircut go for, Wyatt? What are you paying for a haircut?
Well, here it's around $35.
Oh, my
Where I'm
gosh.
from in San Francisco, it's upwards of $80.
All right, so let's take the middle of that. So let's say that a haircut is $50, okay?
Once a month?
Yeah, so yep. So that's
Roughly?
about how often I get my cut. So let's do $50 times 12. That's $600 a year. All right, so that's $600 a year. I haven't had to pay for a haircut in 35 years. So 60 times 35. Is that right? I've saved $21,000. Is that right?
Well, I think that there's probably some level of inflation, right? Because when I
gotta do
got
the
my
math
haircut
again.
as a kid, it was like $7 at Supercuts.
Let me do that again. $50 times 12. That's how many would be in a year. That's $600.
$600.
$600.
How many years?
Times 35 years.
Yes.
$21,000.
Well, again,
I've
you're
saved.
not accounting for inflation because a haircut
You're right.
didn't always
But still, maybe
cost
more
that
like
much.
$15,000. Like,
Okay.
it's still a decent chunk
you're
of change.
in the thousands for sure. You're above 10 grand.
Yeah, so let's say 10 grand. 10 grand is 10 grand. Wyatt, you really ought to let Matzek just cut your hair.
I'm telling you, man, it's easy. All I do is spend money on blades. That's all I do.
What would we have to pay you literally to let Matzek cut your hair?
$10,000.
Okay.
No. Would it really? Give a real number. I have a sizable
guards.
amount of cash in my pocket. I'm not going to tell you how much.
I am not.
How lucky do you feel? I will give you all the cash in my pocket right now, and it's more than $100 if you will let Greg cut your hair.
I got an assortment of guards here, too. I'll let you pick.
I am not going to do it. I never liked having the buzz cut when I was a kid. My mom used to make me do it.
All right, how about this?
Yours will grow back, though. I can assure you.
I have scissors at my desk.
Oh, why? Oh, just normal scissors?
Normal scissors.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to buzz cut it. He can cut it with scissors.
I do whatever you want here, big guy.
I think I'll stick to the professionals.
Adam, how much money you got in your wallet, roughly?
I'm a radio producer, so I ain't got any money in my wallet, John.
You probably literally don't have any money.
None.
He literally has
Zero.
no. Well, Matzek's no help because I know
I
you
just
don't carry cash. You literally don't carry cash either.
Very rare. Very rare.
I have 10 euro in my wallet.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Why?
So that's about $11. So how much money do you have in your wallet, Wyatt? How much can
just
you
the
contribute to us
just
paying
the
you to
10
get your
euro.
haircut?
I ran out of cash recently. I need to get some out.
I have $101.
Today was payday. I
enough.
can Venmo you.
Not enough.
And I have an Honor Flight coin. This is the rare Armed Forces Day. We only did a certain amount of these.
Well,
this is priceless.
Yeah, that seems crass to sell that.
Well, I'm not. I'm giving it to you. This is not happening, is it?
No.
Pretty good effort. These clippers are very nice, too.
I believe you.
These work very well.
It sounds nice over the air.
Cordless,
Look how
right?
good he looks. Now, I'm going to ask you a serious question. What would your number be? This is our favorite game in the afternoon on every topic. What would your number be to let Greg cut your hair? Now, none of us have it, so there's no pressure that you have to actually worry about this, but what would your number be? You're here all week, and you desperately need a haircut. You're my friend, but I'm being honest with you.
It's true.
What would your number be for me and Greg to cut your hair?
I think for Greg to buzz cut my hair, it would be much higher.
Okay.
The scissors and trimmers haircut, I think, still would probably be around $500.
What about like a Flowbee, right? It's the vacuum just sucks all the hair out,
safe.
right? The Flowbee. It's just got the guard on it. You know the Flowbee?
See, you guys are pitching me on this, but I've already booked the haircut.
Oh,
I
you
have
cancel
to
that. Yeah, that stuff's expensive. I'm not paying for your haircut, but I'll give it to you.
And you didn't pay for the haircut yet. You could cancel that.
Yeah.
All right, so he said 500.
He's contemplating it.
500. I could probably, on the text line right now, I could probably raise $500 in 5 minutes.
Another $500.
But I don't
We
want to
should donate that to the Mac Fund, too.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Well, what's your number?
To have you cut
Sitting
my
right in
hair?
there. You're a little closer to me than Wyatt is.
Well, my hair's really short already right now.
It is fairly short. You're about a week and a half in.
I would, next time I need a haircut, I don't know.
No.
I love you like a brother. My number, I think, would be $100.
That's not bad.
I'd let you do it for $100.
Okay.
And then we did give that money to charity. Maybe we should do that.
We have
Michelle needs
something
a
here.
Day off. She hasn't had a hair cut off in 35 years.
You want to cut it, or do you want to throw a guard on it and just make
I
it
don't know.
real
I've never
short?
done that. That'd be kind of fun.
It is fun. It's a nice summery look.
Yeah, that'd be
You
interesting.
don't have to go as deep as I did.
My ball cap would fit. Nice. You know who else needs a haircut is Adam.
Yes, sir.
My God, Adam, why don't you cut your hair?
Well, it's my signature look. I'm kidding. I have none.
What's your number to have Greg cut your hair?
So I'm in the same camp as Wyatt. I've been meaning to get my hair cut for a while, and I'll let him do it for free.
See, he's looking at saving money. He's looking at it the opposite. Just do it for free because then he doesn't have to pay to have it done.
Absolutely.
You're
And
that
I
magic?
desperately
He said
need
for
it.
free.
Saving. Yeah.
He said for free.
Free.
I can do that.
Yeah.
No, you got to be a better negotiator. Now you got to say.
Oh, wait, so he's
what are you
got to
gonna
pay me?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. To be the barber?
Yeah, exactly.
This is turning into the art of the deal.
Right.
I would be happy to do it as a service for Adam, and if we could come up with some
Okay.
money to donate, great.
All right. I'm going to see if I can get the team to come up with $500 so we can cut Wyatt's. Not Wyatt's nervous because he's thinking I should have said a higher number.
I'm very particular about my hair, not because of the look, really, but because of the feel. It's why I need a haircut so much, because the light touch of the long hair is driving me bonkers.
Yeah. All right. Text the word hair if you want to see a time lapse of Greg's hair. We've now shaved it all down, but it got pretty long for a while there. You can text the word hair to the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620 here on WTMJ. So check that out. Thank you, by the way, everybody who donated. We've had a lot of fun, but you donated a lot of money and made a real difference for the MAC Fund. So if that was you, thank you so much for doing that. It is 3:56 at WTMJ. Business headlines are up next. First, a couple of words from my friends at Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, where their mission is to transform the culture of care. I was just talking to my friends at Azura today. You know what? They care about their community. They care about the folks that live there. I feel that every time I'm in one of their places. The world we live in, everybody's living longer. There's going to come a time where you or a loved one is going to need memory care or assisted living. Go with Azura. They're about compassion. They're about empathy. My aunt, my favorite aunt in Florida, just went into memory care. It's such an important decision, and Azura specializes in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's. They've got 4 locations here in the area. I've been in them. They're fantastic. They're Wisconsin-based and family-owned. They are the real deal. They're going to take great care of your family. Trust me. It's AzuraLiving.com. AzuraLiving.com.
Hunger Task Force is Milwaukee's free and local food bank, working to feed people today and end future hunger. Hunger Task Force believes every person has the right to healthy food obtained with dignity. We deliver justice for people in need and focus on equitable access to foods that respect the diet, religion, and personal preferences of families who need help. We serve children, families, and seniors with compassion and demonstrate excellent stewardship of community resources to build a stronger Milwaukee. Visit hungertaskforce.org to donate, volunteer, or raise your voice to end hunger in our community.
Business headlines at Sari Lesk at the Milwaukee Business Journal.
GE Healthcare invests in an augmented reality business called MediView XR, which assists surgeons and other healthcare professionals during procedures. GE Healthcare and MediView are also collaborating to integrate medical imaging with mixed reality tools for interventional healthcare. Buttermint Finer Dining and Cocktails in Shorewood is revamping its menu to become more of a neighborhood-friendly location. New menu choices are expected to include fried cheese curds, wings, and braised beef short ribs. And sponsorships for Polish Fest are down about 42%. Organizers hope the event will attract 30,000 people this year. I'm Sari Lesk with Milwaukee BusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
For 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has set the standard for excellence in hospitality. Its reputation for offering impeccable service and luxurious accommodations is simply unmatched. For your next getaway, pamper yourself with a stay at the Pfister Hotel. Enjoy an evening of fine dining at its classic restaurant, Mason Street Grill. Unwind with a skin, body, or hair treatment at the Pfister Well Spa and Salon. Take in live music with a view from the 23rd floor at Blue Cocktail Lounge. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
Old National Bank is asking everyone to get old. But first, people have questions.
Will it take me years to get old?
No, getting old can literally happen in minutes.
Is getting old like a complicated process?
Not at all. Just stop into one of our banking centers or visit our website. We even have an app for that.
Will I look any different after I get old?
You may look happier and more relaxed with a banking partner like us.
Definitely want to get old.
Introducing Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The year is almost half over and you are still dealing with that knee or hip pain, right? Enough is enough. Pills are not the answer and neither is surgery. You need to call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. The advanced regenerative medicine solutions at QC Kinetics can give you a life without chronic joint pain. You can do all those summer activities you used to enjoy. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in taking healing properties from your own body and applying them right to your achy joints so your joint tissue can be repaired and restored naturally. The treatment is revolutionary and it's right here in Milwaukee. Patients across America are having life-changing results and there's no drugs or surgery or downtime. If you have pain in your knees, back, shoulders, hips, you got to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can give you your life back. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
What's better than the look and feel of real leather? The amazing prices at Steinhoffels.
Oh, Canada, our home of one major league team.
Here he comes. Hey, struck him out swinging. And this one is over.
The Brewers take on the Blue Jays with coverage starting tonight at 5:30 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 4 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: Milwaukee police zero in on a vehicle in an East Side hit and run.
I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley in for Sandy Max, racing for the finish line in Washington.
I'm Greg Matzik. The Brewers hang on to first and are north of the border.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Got a few problems out there. First of all, an earlier accident southbound 43 right at the end of the Capitol Drive on-ramp has been cleared out of the way. Delays have not, so it's still going to be slow along 43 southbound, starting just south of Brown Deer Road. The other problem is an accident on 894 southbound at Beloit Road, off on the right shoulder, backing things up towards the zoo interchange right around Greenfield Avenue. And then off the freeway system in West Dallas, just to let you know, 66th and National, right around there, we had a truck that took down the traffic lights. That's right next to the West Dallas Farmers Market where there is something going on. So just be extra careful. You need to treat that as a four-way stop. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 60. Tomorrow, warm, humid, a high of 88. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Milwaukee police are asking the public for help finding the driver involved in a hit and run over the weekend. The incident occurred early Monday morning on Brady Street. A man was hit and critically injured while walking across the street. Police have released a photo of the silver SUV involved in the crash. It's believed to be a 2011-2017 silver Jeep Patriot with damage to the front. You can see that photo on WTMJ.com and the WTMJ mobile app.
One alderman renewing the call for Brady Street to be entirely closed off to cars at all.
Alderman Jonathan Brostoff believes it'll make the area safer to shut down Brady Street. But retired Brady Street business owner Felix Glorioso of Glorioso's Italian Market tells WTMJ he doesn't want the street closed. He is calling for more speed bumps and stoplights.
You got 5 straight blocks where somebody can speed up intentionally or unintentionally and hurt somebody.
Glorioso's mother, Mary, was hit and killed while walking along Brady Street nearly 20 years ago. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Under fire from conservatives, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is hunting votes from fellow Republicans for the debt ceiling deal. The Republican speaker urging GOP skeptics today to look at the victories in the package he negotiated with President Biden.
When the Freedom Caucus talks about wants the spending back to 2022, the non-defense is back lower than 2022. Veterans get more money and defense gets more money.
The House Rules Committee reviewing the bill today.
The Wisconsin DOT is warning drivers about yet another hazard.
The warmer temperatures this week is making for ideal conditions for the dreaded pavement buckle. That's when the weather goes quickly from cool to very hot. It causes the pavement to expand and push against other slabs of pavement, and with enough pressure, that pavement can buckle and create bumps or dips. Tips to keep in mind: slow down, pay attention to the roadway, and watch for slowing traffic. Be ready to move over for repair crews. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Democratic Minnesota Governor Tim Walz signing a bill today legalizing recreational marijuana use in the state. Minnesota becoming the 23rd state to legalize adult use cannabis, the third Midwestern state to do so. Now, all states that border Wisconsin have legalized either medicinal or recreational marijuana. A map created from the Wisconsin Policy Forum showing that over half of Wisconsin residents are within 75 miles of a marijuana dispensary.
Brewers shortstop Willie Adames is feeling better and on the injured list with a concussion after being hit in the head by a foul ball in the dugout. Manager Craig Counsell tells Wisconsin's Morning News Adames is recovering.
All things considered, he got very lucky. Looks like he's been in a fight. Got a big black eye, but he's doing well.
No word yet on when he'll return. Counsell joins WTMJ every Tuesday morning at 7:45.
With injuries mounting, the Brewers dip into the minor league system for a bat. Greg explains next, coming up in sports.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:05.
This report is sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. SidingUnlimited.com.
Integrity. Your home's integrity depends on the roof, on the windows and doors, on the siding. When your home's integrity fails you, you need the people who won't. Siding Unlimited. The dad started a siding company, called it Siding Unlimited, brought up sons Eric and Aaron Brown to be trustworthy, to value their own integrity, and after college to take over the Siding Unlimited biz. The boys expanded Siding Unlimited beyond siding to windows and doors, roofs and decks, your home's integrity factors. Now you can buy those things from lots of people, but I wouldn't. I value the integrity of Eric, Aaron, and the talented American craftsmen that are the Siding Unlimited team. And I'm not just their spokesman. I'm a Siding Unlimited customer. Reliable, truthful, talented, and trustworthy. Winners of many industry awards and customer accolades. They are SidingUnlimited.com.
Wealth-changing question. Is your advisor giving you incomplete advice? Besides investing, there's also taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other elements that can be stressful to organize. At Creative Planning, we provide all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house, ensuring every aspect of your wealth works harder together so you can enjoy your wealth instead of worrying about it. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Fleet Farm is your one-stop shop for everything lawn and garden. This week only, take 25% off all hanging baskets. Or pick up Farm Fresh Select 6-inch annuals for just $3.99. Plus, choose from our wide selection of vegetables and more in the garden center. And with our price match guarantee, you will always get the lowest price on your backyard essentials. Don't miss out on lawn and garden savings this week at Fleet Farm.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
Well, it's always a process, right? The hiring of a head coach. How many were interested? How many were finalists? Who was brought to Milwaukee? Looks like it was 15-3-3. The process of landing Adrian Griffin, the former Raptors assistant.
They went through a finalist process of Nick Nurse, Adrian Griffin, Kenny Atkinson, and interestingly, they all met one-on-one with Giannis before any hiring was made. And then ownership, Giannis, John Horst, their general manager in Milwaukee, they all huddled up afterward to figure out exactly who the coach would be.
That's Shams Charania of The Athletic. He broke the news of Griffin's hiring last weekend. Looks like Griffin will be introduced at some point in the coming days, though the move has not yet been made official by the Milwaukee Bucks. Brewers are in Toronto to face the Blue Jays tonight. Milwaukee's still in first place in the NL Central despite dropping 3 of 4 to the Giants over the weekend. Milwaukee in Toronto underway tonight with coverage beginning at 5:35. And the NBA Finals are set, John. It's the Heat and Denver Nuggets. Game 1 will be played on Thursday. You know the Nuggets mascot? He's a big lion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocky, right? Hey,
Rocky, that's right.
He makes $625,000 a year.
What?
He is the highest paid mascot in the NBA.
Oh, my gosh.
This is
what?
ridiculous. The highest paid mascot in the NBA, according to Bleacher Report,
I need to
via
switch
Sports
careers
Business Journal,
ASAP.
is Rocky, and he makes $625,000 a year.
That's insane.
A little lovable lion mascot for the Denver Nuggets.
Wow, $625. That's remarkable. It's 4:08 at WTMJ.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley are thrilled with their brand new Pella patio door.
It's like having a brand new kitchen. It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing, and it makes it comfortable for the life we live, which is an active one.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside.
For the first time, our whole house actually feels like the same climate.
And no drafts. Don't have to have any of those extendo cornhole bags anymore. It's a game changer.
I'm Gina Della from Pella, and if you order today, get 0% interest for up to 48 months. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we strive to always give the best possible quality of service. Our experts provide an in-home consultation where they'll listen to your needs and help choose the perfect products for your home, which can be customized to fit any decor. The installation is completed in as little as a day with no mess and no hassle, leaving nothing but perfect results. Order today and get 0% interest for up to 48 months at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends 5/31/2023.
Humans can do a lot of amazing things. Fighting bugs isn't one of them. STEM is powered by active ingredients found in plants to fight off bugs safely and effectively. Use as directed. STEM, rooted in nature, optimized by science.
At Semper Fi, the path to self-improvement never ends. So it feels good to be good. It's been 20 years, and we'll make sure you feel like you made a great decision to have us work on your next exterior remodeling project.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John McCure.
All right, Wyatt is in for Sandy. Greg is here. Debbie's here. Adam's here. Matzik shaved his hair off last hour after growing it for a month. Do the headsets feel different? You look sleek.
Well, no, not really, because I didn't have any hair on the top of my head, and that's where the headset actually makes contact with my head.
Around your ears, though, you had a lot?
A little bit, but I guess, the ear flaps on the headset doesn't really come in contact.
It looks good.
No, I feel like I'm back to normal.
Yeah, I feel like that,
Thank
too.
you for your support.
Yeah, it's good stuff. On Mondays, usually, we do Who Had a Good Weekend as we look back, but it was a long weekend. But it was still time to look back to see who had a good weekend. I'll go first. So who had a good weekend? UW Women's Volleyball had a good weekend. They announced that they're going on their first foreign tour in 4 years. They have not been overseas since the pandemic. They've won national championships since then. They've had a lot of success. They had a good weekend because the announcement came out that they're packing and going to Turkey, Slovenia, Italy, and Switzerland. They're taking the show on the road. UW Women's Volleyball had a good weekend. All right, Wyatt, who had a good weekend?
I had a good weekend. This was the first time my parents came to visit Milwaukee
nice.
since I moved here just about a year ago last week, because I've been in Milwaukee for a year now. So that was the first time they got to see where I live. I took them all around the city. We saw downtown. We saw the Riverwalk, Brady Street. We did the Lakefront Brewery tour.
Oh, excellent.
And I did actually bring them into the studio here, and I did a little scheme with one of our news people, Jessica.
Yeah.
I was off. I had time off to spend with my moms over the weekend. but I schemed with her that I would do a surprise newscast on Sunday morning so that my parents could see me do the news live. So they didn't know it was going to happen, and I had to time the tour of the studios right so that we would get in right at 10:55, and I just hopped in the studio, told them I was on air, and they got to see me do it.
Oh, that's fun. That's great stuff to show off our city. Greg, who had a good weekend?
Liam Hendriks of the Chicago White Sox.
Oh, how about this? Moments ago, Liam Hendriks, free of cancer, jogs out of the bullpen less than 5 months after being diagnosed. What a moment.
Stage 4 cancer diagnosis less than 5 months ago, back on the mound over the weekend for the Chicago White Sox. Didn't matter that he gave up a couple runs. This was in Chicago, and I know there's a pitch clock and there's things that hustle baseball along. Credit to the umpires and everybody involved, the batter, for just kind of letting him have his moment there for a little bit. I mean, it took a good couple minutes before he was able to deliver a pitch, as you might expect.
That's remarkable.
Amazing story.
Good stuff. Adam, who had a good weekend?
The band Lovejoy, John. So I'm sure you are
What is that?
Just hear me out. I'm sure, of course, John, you are well into the Minecraft world, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
big
yeah,
time.
totally.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you're right.
Well, there's a very popular Minecrafter by the name of Wilbur. It's just his screen name, I guess you will. And he's the front man for a British indie pop group called Lovejoy. Now, they were originally scheduled this weekend to play The Back Room, which we've been hearing a lot about, how they're going to be kind of moving down to the east side.
Collectivo.
Correct. Well, that show sold out so fast, and as we know, it only holds about 300 people. They moved it down to the Riverside, just down the street from us here, and that sold out in record time. I happened to be downtown Saturday evening. I was actually doing something close by, and I went down Wisconsin Avenue. The line for that show wrapped all the way down the Riverwalk, if you can picture it, all the way to Wells, wrapping back around to Plankington. It was absolutely incredible. They gave him a cheese head to commemorate his visit to Milwaukee, and it was just a spectacular performance. Great job all around. Lovejoy, great first U.S. show.
All right. It is 4:14 at WTMJ. Let me tell you about one of my favorite things of the summer. I love EAA Oshkosh Air Venture. It is absolutely the coolest thing. It's up there. There's the planes. There's the food. There's the fun. Families everywhere. You can camp. I grew up making memories at Air Venture. I have family in Oshkosh that live near the airport, and we would be there every single summer, and I loved it because it's different every year. So even if you've been, get there this summer. The air shows, the planes, the people, the food, the fun, the excitement. This year, the magic is from July 24th to July 30th. Get your tickets at EAA.org. Create new memories for your family this summer. EAA.org.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Garage door broke. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis. Need a new garage door. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new CHI maintenance-free garage door. In fact, a recent study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%, ranking #1 among all home improvement projects. To see our huge selection of doors, come visit us at our Brookfield location or view our online showroom at geisdoors.com. We have everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, call Geis at 262-784-4250 or visit us online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment and Abbey Windows. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
Traffic and then weather, and then more and more parents think that going to college is a waste of time and money. We'll explain and ask what you think. Deb, help get us home.
Well, we've got an accident on 894 southbound at Beloit Road, and it's got the right lane blocked. So it's an 8-minute ride now from the Zoot to the Hale. Southbound 43 is not gotten back to normal after our earlier accident near Capitol Drive. That accident's gone, but the delays are not. So we've got about a 22-minute ride from Brown Deer Road into the Marquette. It's about an 11-minute backup. East and westbound on 94 are both slowing down into the stadium. So we got westbound slowing down from about 27th Street through to Mitchell Boulevard. On the eastbound side, basically from 76th Street all the way to about 35th is where you're seeing those delays. And while you are out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you happen to see something you think we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 60 degrees. Tomorrow, warm and humid, maybe a pop-up storm, a high of 90 inland. On Thursday, slight chance for a little bit of rain in the afternoon, a high of 90 inland. Friday, warm and humid, 88. Saturday, sunny, 80 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it is beautiful, sunny and 73 degrees. It appears that more and more Americans, and parents specifically, think that going to college just isn't as important as it used to be. Interesting research in the Wall Street Journal today.
Yeah, so 15% enrollment is down in colleges. We just had Cardinal Stritch close, for goodness sake. So institutions of higher learning, it's an interesting time. It's also very expensive to go to a four-year university. So there's an interesting story in the Wall Street Journal, John and Wyatt, that focuses in on the job market and how that's elevating the desire to just hop into the workforce, along with the rising cost of college, saying, well, why do I have to worry about that degree? Why do I have to plunk down $100,000 on an education when I can come out swinging here and maybe even to some degree name my own price and terms to enter the workforce? So it's I don't know how long this will be a trend, but certainly the rising cost of college, that doesn't really seem to be under control. And the way the job market is today, man, it is hot, and you can find jobs. Jobs are available. So do you need that four-year degree or not? And it seems like there's been a little bit of a shift, that it's more so 50-50 than it's ever been. And some of the latest findings by the Wall Street Journal indicate that 56% of American parents feel that the four-year degree is not necessary. Not saying any schooling beyond high school is not necessary, but the four-year degree isn't necessary.
And the biggest category of skeptics are those that have a college degree.
Of course, right?
Which I found fascinating. The people who did spend a lot of money for a degree. Let me toss out a couple other things. In another recent survey, over the course of a career, the course of your career, if you work for 35 years, a person with a college degree, on average, in this massive survey, made $2.8 million over the course of their career. That's average, $2.8 million. Those with only a high school diploma and maybe some other schooling made $1.6 million. So $1.2 million left on the table. That's a huge gap, even if you take student loan debt into account.
Sure.
I mean, you're not going to have $1.2 million in student loan debt. Joe Biden recently said, some good jobs without college are out there. You don't require a degree anymore, and you can earn $130,000 a year. The reality is that less than 1% of the job force without a college degree makes $130,000 a year. I'm just a believer in you got to do what's right for your family. It's a very personal situation, and not every kid is built for college, and I understand that. But I am a big believer in college and higher learning and what it gets you and what it teaches you, in addition to the extra money you're going to make, what it teaches you about life. And I know, I'll say this 1,000 times, it's not for everybody. But my girls are 30, and it was never a discussion about whether you're going to school, and that was from when they were little. We never, ever had the discussion, right? I mean, it was just a given.
One of your daughters and I went to the same school. We went to Syracuse University,
they did,
and it's interesting because I was thinking about it as you guys were talking about it. I also really had no other. I was always going to college. I did well in school, and I was always going to go to a 4-year school. I didn't know what I was going to do for a while. I decided to go to journalism school. I was lucky enough to go to one of the great journalism schools in SU, and I don't think my path ends up here without college. I know there's a lot of interesting stuff though. because for me, I grew up in San Francisco. If I had done what people are suggesting and just gone straight out of high school, tried to get into the job market, I would never have left home because of the that's just due to the crazy cost of rent in San Francisco. So for me to live independently, I think for me that was what college was a huge part of, was learning to live independently and in some place that isn't San Francisco.
So college helped shape my life. Now, I have no reason to think that if I didn't go to college, I wouldn't have the same sort of values or things that my parents taught me, or things that, life lessons that I was able to learn. But I also wanted to be a college athlete, right? There was no real avenue for me after high school aside of college for me to exact that dream. So that was all part of it. But
yeah, that wasn't really in the cards for me.
But I guess, long story short, the number of life lessons, I could not have imagined my life without college. It helped shape my adult life.
I agree with you.
It taught me a variety of things that you can't really put a number on, but I also identify and understand with the challenges of wanting to go where you want to go and trying to figure out how you're going to pay for it. It stresses parents out to try and save a little bit. And how much is too much? And what if you didn't get that grant? Can you go where you want to go? So I understand the challenges today that weren't around even as much, John, when I was going to college. And that was,
Right.
Late 1990s, because Oshkosh wasn't terribly expensive. It may have felt like it at the time, but today's dollars are much different.
Well, and relatively speaking, Wyatt, you and one of my daughters both went to Syracuse. My daughter is, I don't know, maybe 6 years younger than you, roughly. And when she went, it was like $65,000 a year. Now, she got help. She was very smart, and we were blessed. She had scholarships. So
I also had scholarships.
Yeah, so
for
we
SU.
didn't pay that. But if you paid, when she went, if you paid full, which some people did, especially international students, it was $65,000 a year. So I understand. It is really painful, and it's not for everybody. And you do what you got to do. And for some people, an apprenticeship program, something in the trades is absolutely the
Even
right
an
move.
associate's degree. My mom went to community college before going to a 4 years, finishing her degree at a 4-year school. She didn't really know what she wanted to do at the time. It was also, like Greg said, a place for her to play her sport. And it worked out all right for her. My other mom went to a 4-year school, went to law school, and also turned out all right.
Those showing the least amount of confidence in the Wall Street Journal survey that you referenced are women. They are driving the decline in confidence. Confidence among women fell to 44%. That's 10 percentage points in 3 years. 44% believe that college is a good value proposition. 44%.
Yeah, so there's your flip. They were on the positive side of that, now on the other side of it.
Yep. It's a lot of thinking that needs to go on. We need to reform what we're charging at these schools. And let's talk about Syracuse again for a second. You're obviously intimately familiar with it. I'm familiar with it because that's where my money went. And they have an endowment, and they're a private school. And they need to find a way to make it more affordable. And if you're here in Wisconsin, you hear Wisconsinites complain all the time that if you live in the state, you are less likely to get financial aid to UW than if you live out of state. Both of our girls got accepted into Madison. Both of our girls took a pass on Madison because they got more money to go somewhere else, and they were near the top of their classes. We got to figure that out.
Yeah, that was the thing I encountered while looking at colleges. I looked at some in California, but I was looking a lot out of state because I wanted to go explore and see new things. And there were out of state schools that just they ended up not being the right choice for me, but they were throwing money at me in part because I was coming from out of state.
So let me ask you this though, John. Syracuse versus Ohio State, private university versus public university.
Yep.
Was there a big difference with the money or grants or opportunities to kind of whittle down that cost at a private school versus public?
It ended up being about the same. So when my girl was going to Syracuse, if you paid everything, it was $65,000. At Ohio State, when she went, if you paid everything, it was $45,000. The help they got, though, at Syracuse, they offer a lot more help. At Madison, when my girl went, it was about $25,000. So $25,000, $45,000, $65,000. They ended up paying less money to go to Ohio State and Syracuse than they would have paid to go to Wisconsin.
That is
because
actually,
Wisconsin offered less help, and that's
I have
sad.
a friend who picked Syracuse over Ohio State in part exactly because of what John described, because it was cheaper to go to Syracuse once all the help was calculated.
It's remarkable. We got to get that figured out in Wisconsin. We want the brightest kids to stay here and then launch their careers here. We've got to make it more affordable. All the aid shouldn't go to kids from the other 50 states because we want to make sure we have a diverse bunch of people here. Take care of the students who were born and raised in our state.
I think I'm still on the waiting list, by the way, at Madison. Got a letter a couple weeks ago.
Your hair looks good now. You're more likely to get
Got that going for me.
427 at WTMJ. Time for the NX Wealth Management Market Update. On the day, it was mixed. S&P 500 was flat, 4205. The Dow was up 50 points. The NASDAQ was up 41 points. NX Wealth Management, no the difference.
Hey, who's getting hungry? I am. About that time, right? Time to stop at the grocery store and pick up a Palermo's. Maybe you already have a stocked freezer. Well, there you go. Dinner's easy for you tonight. Preheat the oven, pop in your favorite Palermo's. Everyone is going to be happy. If you don't have them in the freezer yet, stop at Festival Foods, Pick and Save, Piggly Wiggly, Woodman's, and more. You can find Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza, made in Milwaukee for over 55 years. That is amazing. Quite a family-run business they have. Near the ballpark, as a matter of fact, you've probably driven right by it. Outstanding value, great taste. Hard to pick which one I like the best. Screamin' Sicilian tends to be the clubhouse leader. Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often, because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved. But here, you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
We see some patients who come in and they have been in just so much pain for so long that they are just deflated.
But that's about to change because QC Kinetics provides hope for relief using all new regenerative treatments that concentrate your body's own healing properties into aching hips, back, shoulders, and knees. And Dr. Zuckerman, a medical director at QC Kinetics, loves watching the patient transformations.
One of the most amazing things is when I get to see a patient who, after a few months of our treatments, is just a completely different person. They are smiling and happy, and the weight of the world is off their shoulders because we were able to take away their pain.
And that's with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
It's just amazing to be able to change people's lives like that. It's very gratifying.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: searching for the driver in a hit and run that left a pedestrian with life-threatening injuries.
I'm Wyatt Barmar-Pooley in for Sandy Mack, scraping together votes.
I'm Greg Matzek. The Bucks land their coach.
I'm Debbie Loziga. They cleared the accident on 894 southbound at Beloit Road, so that's good news. Things are going to start getting a little bit better there. But we got an incident on northbound 41 right about at Hampton Avenue off on the left shoulder. Now, that's got things backed up all the way back through the Capitol Drive area, so just be careful with that. Give yourself that extra time. Southbound on 43, on and off the brakes, basically from Good Hope Road down to about Hampton, and then back on the brakes from Capitol Drive all the way down past Locust. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, partly cloudy, low 60 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny, warm, humid, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, a high of 88. Traffic and weather sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you've trusted for over 85 years. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Milwaukee police asking the public for help finding the driver involved in a hit and run over the holiday weekend. The incident occurred early Monday morning on Brady Street. A man was hit and critically injured while walking across the street. Police have released a photo of the silver SUV involved in the crash. There are pictures of that silver Jeep Patriot with damage to the front hood at WTMJ.com or on the WTMJ mobile app.
One Milwaukee alderman is renewing the call for Brady Street to be closed to vehicular traffic entirely.
Alderman Jonathan Brostoff believes it'll make the area safer to shut down Brady Street. But retired Brady Street business owner Felix Glorioso of Glorioso's Italian Market tells WTMJ he doesn't want the street closed. He is calling for more speed bumps and stoplights.
You got 5 straight blocks where somebody can speed up intentionally or unintentionally and hurt somebody.
Glorioso's mother, Mary, was hit and killed while walking along Brady Street nearly 20 years ago. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
The House could soon vote as soon as tomorrow night on the package that suspends the debt ceiling and caps federal spending. GOP leaders and the president say they feel good about its chances of passage.
The debt deal has been maligned by progressives on the left and conservatives on the right. But Biden Budget Director Shalonda Young calls it a reasonable agreement.
This is what happens in divided government. They get to have an opinion, and we get to have an opinion.
Young says Mr. Biden and his aides are reaching out to skeptical Democrats to teach them about the proposal.
What you don't do is call and tell them what to do. You educate.
Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, the White House.
Brewers shortstop Willy Adames is said to be feeling better after he was hit in the head by a foul ball last Friday. He's now on the injured list with a concussion. Manager Craig Counsell tells Wisconsin's Morning News Adames is recovering well.
All things considered, he got very lucky. Looks like he's been in a fight. Got a big black eye, but he's doing well.
No word yet on when he'll return. The Brewers are in Toronto starting a series against the Blue Jays tonight. Counsell joins WTMJ every Tuesday morning at 7:45.
Greg previews that series up next in sports.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:33.
This report is sponsored by Wisconsin Kitchen Mart. Higher design, higher style, higher Wisconsin Kitchen Mart.
In the past 70 years, there's something that has never changed. The kitchen. Oh, it may look a little different as the decades have passed, but it's always been where family gathers for meals, memories, and more. Wisconsin Kitchen Mart has always understood that and remains dedicated to making that important space special.
With an expansive 18,000 square foot showroom filled with full-size displays featuring Play-Doh custom cabinetry, award-winning designers, plus their own in-house installation department, let Wisconsin Kitchen Mart transform your kitchen into a true gathering place.
I'm Robert Iskey, Vice President and Designer from Wisconsin Kitchen Mart. We've been remodeling kitchens and baths since 1951 and can help establish a vision for your remodel. We bring the carpenters, plumbers, electricians, and everyone else needed to make your dream kitchen a reality.
Higher design, higher style, higher Wisconsin Kitchen Mart on the corner of West Wisconsin Avenue and 36th Street in Milwaukee. Online at wisconsinkitchenmart.com.
When big national banks make a decision, it requires many emails, phone calls, and plenty of video conferences from around the globe. When we make a banking decision, we do it over a cup of coffee in our office. Finding a local bank that's passionate about the community and knows your name is hard to find these days.
Good morning, Diane. Welcome back.
The search is over.
Waterstone Bank, proud to be your local bank for over 100 years. Love your bank as much as we love this community. Waterstone Bank, Waukesha, Milwaukee, and Washington County.
Member FDIC.
Did you know that the Inflation Reduction Act can save you thousands on energy-efficient updates like new insulation, siding, windows, and more? And these dollars are in addition to Focus on Energy rebates. I'm Randy Miller, owner of All Right Home and Remodeling and S&E Insulation. As Department of Energy Century Club award winners, my team has the proven skills and experience to help you take advantage of these unprecedented incentives. Get started at ALLRITE-remodeling.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
Well, the Brewers are hanging on to first place in the NL Central. Despite losing 3 of 4 to the Giants, Milwaukee begins today 2 games ahead of Pittsburgh for first place in the division. Willy Adames not with the Brewers in Toronto. He continues to recover from a concussion.
He's doing well. We saw him yesterday and Sunday and yesterday, and everything is, not doing activity right now, but feels great. So as the next couple of days go on, we'll probably have a better idea that he'll just start some kind of light activity and see how that makes him feel, and we'll get a good sense from that as to when he can come back.
Brewers manager Craig Counsell. Adrian Hauser on the mound tonight. He's not allowed a run in his last 2 outings, covering 11-plus innings. Coverage begins at 5:30. For the 7th time since 2006, the Miami Heat are the NBA Finals. Game 1 against the Nuggets will be played Thursday night in Denver. 76ers will hire former Raptors head coach Nick Nurse to replace Doc Rivers. One of Nurse's assistants, Adrian Griffin, will reportedly be hired by the Bucks, according to Shams Charania.
They went through a finalist process of Nick Nurse, Adrian Griffin, Kenny Atkinson, and interestingly, they all met one-on-one with Giannis before any hiring was made. And then ownership, Giannis, John Horst, their general manager in Milwaukee, they all huddled up afterward to figure out exactly who the coach would be.
Bucks have 9 free agents, including Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez. So Middleton's due a player option on his contract, John. Lopez, unrestricted free agent. There's a lot of roster shuffling that could happen here, but you'd like to see the core stay in place. Again, there's a retrenching strategy here for Giannis. He only has 2 years left on his contract before a player option.
All right, Greg, thank you. It is 4:37 at WTMJ.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley are thrilled with their brand new Pella patio door.
It's like having a brand new kitchen. It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing, and it makes it comfortable for the life we live, which is an active one.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside.
For the first time, our whole house actually feels like the same climate.
And no drafts. I don't have to have any of those extendo cornhole bags anymore. It's a game changer.
I'm Gina Della from Pella, and if you order today, get 0% interest for up to 48 months. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we strive to always give the best possible quality of service. Our experts provide an in-home consultation where they'll listen to your needs and help choose the perfect products for your home, which can be customized to fit any decor. The installation is completed in as little as a day with no mess and no hassle, leaving nothing but perfect results. Order today and get 0% interest for up to 48 months at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends 5/31/2023.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Big news today in the music industry. There are reports out that the songs of Queen could be sold for $1 billion. So this is what happened. Artists sell their music catalog to big companies for big bucks. Queens could sell for the most ever $1 billion. $1 billion. You guys want to guess?
But then what would you do with it? Like, just, okay.
I'll let you cut my hair for $1 billion.
I suppose you could continue to market it, right? And if advertisers wanted to use it, you could sell the rights to, right?
Well, that's what you do,
kind of
because
stuff.
it doesn't get sold to a private person. Like, this is going to get sold to Universal Music Group. Then they will be able to sell it for movie rights, for TV, to other people that want to sample the music. But $1 billion. All right, who do you guys think? So it's $1 billion. Has had their stuff sell for the most money.
Michael Jackson or the Beatles would be my guess.
Those
I
are
remember
good
us talking
guesses.
about the Beatles last year, I think, on this very program, a similar situation.
It's this guy.
The Boss.
Yeah, the Boss.
Wow.
$500 million was what his stuff sold for. And it was in 2021. So to your point, the Beatles and Michael Jackson sold before that, or they would probably be worth more. But Bruce Springsteen, his sold for $500 million. What about this guy? All right, I don't know how to do this.
He sounds great.
Yeah, all right. All right, this is what I get for trying to play around with the audio. I should have you help me with this, Matzik. That's supposed to be David Bowie. Just imagine you're hearing
enough.
Let's Dance by David Bowie.
Okay.
$200 million. Thank you. $200 million for David Bowie.
That's
So when
still
you hear
impressive.
that's a lot of money, right?
So what are the rules behind it? So I buy all the music for Queen. I am now the sole owner of all of Queen's catalog. What's next? Can I use name, image, and likeness? Can I put Freddie Mercury in a commercial? Can I have him be a hologram in Las Vegas playing his own songs?
But it sounds like you're not getting you're not buying the band Queen. You're just buying the album.
No, I get
the
it.
Music.
I think why it's right, because as I read further in this article, it says Queen's music catalog. It's like, don't know for sure, but I don't think so. Let's talk about for a second here. We just got a couple of minutes, but okay, you think about Queen. You think about Freddie Mercury and that voice. The range
crazy.
How iconic it was, right? Who are some of the greatest voices in music history? For me, it would have to be Freddie Mercury. Just the range is insane.
Whitney Houston.
Yep, I would agree. I have Whitney on my list.
This is a dangerous and fun subject, right? Best voices in rock and roll?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to beat Freddie Mercury. Robert Plant comes to mind, just thinking off the top of my head. His voice is incredible. Chris Cornell of Soundgarden could peel the paint off walls with his voice.
Bowie's got to be on there, too.
Bowie's good. Ann Wilson.
Heart.
Oh, my
Heart.
gosh. Her voice is ridiculous.
Mariah Carey.
Just incredible.
I mean, think about Mariah Carey's range before she did that crappy Christmas song. Yeah. I mean, back in the early 90s, Mariah Carey, the stuff she could hit.
Amy Winehouse.
Yeah. There's some Ann Wilson. I think of U2.
That's great.
And U2's songs are like anthems, so I think Bono gets... I think people look past Bono, but I like Bono's voice. I like that husky... I think Bono has a great voice.
He does. They just have a different sound altogether. You know a U2 song when you hear it, right?
You do. It's like the band more than the voice, right?
There's certain voice, you just hear it and you stop. And Freddie Mercury's there, and Ann Wilson's there for me. Soundgarden's underappreciated, I think, long term, but oh my gosh, just incredible voice.
Yeah. So Queen, their catalog could sell for $1 billion.
We could pool our money together, but we're getting Mike Budenholzer's house on Okauchee Lake. We got to pick.
Well, and we're paying to cut Wyatt's hair.
There's a lot going on here.
We're paying for a lot of stuff.
See, the one thing that's good about the long hair, I went to a concert recently. It is good. It is good for the headbanging.
Yeah, you got rocker hair. You and Adam.
That's we should start a band. Another WTMJ band.
Yeah. Band names. We come with a band name for Adam and Wyatt. It is 4:43 at WTMJ. John Raymond up next. Couple of words for Annex Wealth Management. Challenges in the economy, yeah, you know it. That's a fact, and it seems like they just keep coming. If you're looking for a steady hand during times like these, you'll get that with Annex Wealth Management. Is it time to have an investment and retirement plan that's well-crafted, efficient, and focused on your goal? Yeah, it is, for sure. Go with the teams that I trust at Annex Wealth Management. Annex is a fiduciary all the time, not just some of the time. They're required to operate in your best interest. That means no commission products. They don't sell a thing. Their job is to provide excellence when it comes to investment and retirement planning, along with tax and estate planning. Annex is a local independent firm with a focus on helping you achieve the retirement you desire. Start the conversation with Annex. It only takes a couple of minutes. They're going to take really good care of you. I know. They've been taking care of me and my family for more than a decade. Visit AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button. It's so easy. That's Annex Wealth Management. Check them out. Locations throughout southeast Wisconsin or as close as your computer. It's AnnexWealth.com.
Here's to soaking up surf culture on Wisconsin's fresh coast. Here's to beaches designed for people of all abilities. To sand between your toes and happiness in your heart. Here's to trading skylines for endless Wisconsin shorelines. And to ending each day with smiles all around. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Start your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
Grandview buys homes. Hi, I'm Tom Delich, here to tell you Grandview will buy your home in any condition. Water damage, mold, cracks in the foundation, not a problem. Electrical issues, bad roof, peeling paint. We've seen and bought them all. Or maybe your home just hasn't been updated in 20 or 30 years. Grandview will buy your home too. Don't do a single repair. And best, take only the belongings you want and leave the rest to us. Sell your home as is today. Call the name you know and the name you trust. GrandviewHomes.com.
Traffic and weather starts with Debbie Lazaga. Hey there, Deb.
Hey there, John. Well, southbound 43 remains a heavy ride as you're making your way down from about Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive. Stays kind of heavy all the way into the Marquette. The westbound side slowing down right out of the Marquette interchange through the stadium, and then eastbound as well from about 84th Street through the stadium interchange. And we're seeing some delays along the bypass heading southbound from Greenfield Avenue down and around the Hale interchange. Doesn't really let up until you get past Forest Home Avenue. And BRI's on the roads report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions. So the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 60 degrees. Tomorrow, warm, humid, a chance for a pop-up storm, a high near 90. On Thursday, warm and humid again. Chance for maybe a thunderstorm, a high of 90. Friday, warm, humid, 88. Saturday, beautiful, sunny, a high of 80. Each day, a little bit cooler along the lake. We were in a warm stretch, and my lawn is screaming for some water. Right now in Milwaukee, it's sunny and 73 degrees. Dr. John Raymond is the president and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin, and he is with us in the studio. Hello, Dr. Raymond.
Good afternoon, John.
Thank you so much for being here. We always appreciate it when you stop by.
Thank you.
I want to ask you about allergies. I hear a lot of people around the office talking about allergies. Is it the peak of allergy season? Are we past it? Are there different allergies? When you have a discussion about allergies, where do you go?
Yeah, good question. Allergies really are prolonged during the year. So the season starts in the spring and goes through the autumn. And we're really not at the peak of, quote unquote, the allergy season. But this is the time of year when tree pollen is around. Next month or in June, it's going to probably be more grass pollens. Later in the summer, ragweed. And then in the fall, you might get some leaf mold. So all of those,
there's a lot.
All of those can cause the symptoms of allergic seasonal rhinitis, which basically means inflammation of the nose. Things we know: itchy eyes, runny nose, congestion, sneezing, and wheezing.
So when I was a boy, I had hay fever, and I remember I was always told stay away from the plants that have the yellow stalks, and that seemed to aggravate my hay fever if I was out in the field. As I got older, I outgrew it, and it completely went away. Is that common?
It can happen for sure. And when I moved here, I had some real problems with grass allergies, and those have gone away. You can become desensitized to your allergies, but other people can develop new hay fever symptoms as they get older. So it really depends on the individual.
Can you treat allergies and really make them subside, or is it just more masking the symptoms? And I know this is a generalization because they're not all the same, but what are the common approaches to relieving?
Yeah, well, first of all, prevention is important. So simple things like keeping the windows closed, turning your air conditioning on, not hanging clothes out to line dry because then you're bringing the allergen into the house, taking your clothes off and maybe not bringing your shoes in the house when you've been out exposed to the pollens help. But certainly nasal steroids can help, and you can manage symptoms with antihistamines as well. But the prevention is probably the most important thing that you can do.
Or move to northern Canada, where nothing grows.
Right. That's the key. Nothing grows, because pretty much anywhere you go, if there are plants growing, you might have hay fever.
Hey, Dr. Raymond, I see studies all the time about BMI, or body mass index, and I'm so quick to dismiss those studies because I don't feel like BMI takes into account your body composition. Doing a BMI, it would appear that I'm overweight. I don't feel that way. I feel like I'm healthy. Why is BMI still a thing in the medical world, and how much stock do you put into it?
Yeah, a really great question. So body mass index is just a crude measure of body fat based on your height and your weight. And for math majors out there, the formula is weight divided by the square root of your height. And basically that's useful for population-based studies, but it's not good for individuals because if you have a large frame or you're muscular, you can overestimate the body mass index because bones and muscle are heavier than fat are. And then people that are older that maybe lose muscle mass, you can actually underestimate the possible fat deposits they have. So for individuals, there may be better measurements. So for example, your waist circumference is a good measure. For men, anything over 40 is typically associated with a higher risk. You have more visceral fat. Or you can actually do a ratio of your waist circumference to your height. So those would be better measures for the individual. And yes, you can do various simple methods of measuring body fat that they can do in any gym, basically, to really get an accurate measure of your body fat. And you definitely do not look like somebody who's overweight.
Yeah, right.
No, yeah, exactly. You're like the fittest guy I know.
Yeah,
Seriously.
it just like it takes athletes and just puts them in a different category.
does.
Like, well, it doesn't really. Yeah, Bo
Especially after
Jackson's
you lost a few pounds up
with
on the
hair,
dome.
right? Yeah, Bo Jackson's been obese for his entire life. I find that hard to believe.
That's unbelievable. I want to ask you about a little known and underappreciated virus that people are talking about that spiked this spring. It came after RSV and influenza and COVID-19, or I should say, as they died down. What can you tell us about, how do you pronounce this, metapneumovirus?
Yeah, human metapneumovirus, very good. Or HMPV is a respiratory virus that causes symptoms that are similar to what you get from the flu or mild case of COVID-19 or RSV, respiratory syncytial virus. Those would include runny nose or throat fever, cough, and infections of your lungs and bronchioles. Cases have spiked here in the spring, especially in kids and seniors, and those are the most vulnerable populations to human metapneumovirus. There's high-quality tests available, so you can actually diagnose this, but typically not over the counter or in a physician's office. It would need to be in a hospital or in an emergency department. Really interesting. This may be the second most common cause of respiratory illnesses and it's been around for at least 50 years, but it really isn't that well known. And you add up the big four, and we've talked about this. Maybe you've had a triple-demic.
Yep.
Maybe this would be a quadruple-demic. When you add up those four viruses, they only cause about 50% of respiratory disease. And so 50% are really unknown causes. So we still have a lot to learn about respiratory viruses.
Wow, that's amazing. You add up the big ones, and it's still only 50%.
It's still only 50%.
Are any of the big four more contagious than the others?
Well, I think right now COVID-19
is still
extremely contagious. And each iteration of the virus, each variant makes it more and more contagious.
I wanted to ask you about something that I found very encouraging, but I think I'm reading too much into it. And that's a study that found that cocoa flavonols may boost memory, but I'm afraid this doesn't mean eat a lot more chocolate. What did the study find?
Yeah, well, first of all, it doesn't mean eat a lot of chocolate.
Bummer.
I'll explain why at the end. Basically, cocoa flavonoids are antioxidant compounds that give fruits and vegetables their bright colors. And they're particularly highly concentrated in green tea, berries, apples, and cocoa, as you pointed out. There's a recent study that showed that flavonols were more likely to, low flavonols in your diet were more likely to cause age-related mental decline. And they showed in those individuals that had poor diets, not enriched in flavonols, if they gave them a pill with 500 milligrams of flavonols every day, that they had modest improvements in their ability to think and recall on memory. And again, it was mild. This isn't something that would be unexpected because population-based studies have shown a correlation between low flavanol levels and cognition later in life. Now, to get to chocolates,
yes.
Even though if you take a flavanol pill, there's mild improvement, the problem with chocolates is they do have good cocoa, but they've also got butter, fat, calories, sugars, and those would offset any benefits that you might have from the flavonols.
Yeah, because if you go with just cocoa, it doesn't taste like the chocolate we consume in a Hershey bar. It's not chocolate like we're used to.
But what I'm hearing is an apple a day does, in fact, keep the doctor away.
It could, and that's always a good thing.
I was reflecting, Dr. Raymond, as you were getting ready to come in here today, that we started this segment with you almost 3 years ago, and it was all focused on COVID. I think the name of the segment may have had COVID in the title, and it's such a treat for us that you continue to come in here and we can broaden the segment out and talk about things in every aspect of mental health, physical health, prevention, what's going on in the world. And we're in such a better place than we were 3 years ago. And, man, we don't take that for granted. Thank you for doing the segment.
Yeah, we sure are in a better place. And, again, I feel privileged to be able to come in here and hang out with you guys.
I love to end it with good news of the week. So what do you got for us this week?
Yeah, I'm going to cheat a little bit, and you know I tend to do that. So I want to talk about Memorial Day, even though we celebrated it over the weekend. Originally, it was celebrated between 1868 and 1970 on May 30th, which is today. So this is my last call out to the people that have served our country to say thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you for saying that. Dr. John Raymond is the president and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin. I didn't know that. You learn something every time you're in here. Dr. Raymond, thank you so much.
Thanks, John.
It is 4:56 at WTMJ. A couple of words here for Dave Drakamp Heating. It's that time of year. We're getting a lot of warmth right now, right? So you know that summer big time is on the way. Soon we'll be in the middle of graduation party season and time spent on the patio. And that heat's going to flame the desire to retreat and relax in the cool comforts of your home. I'm trying to convince Michelle not to turn the air conditioning off on the next few days when it's going to be 90. And I live in Menominee Falls, so it's going to be warm. Don't turn it on. But pretty soon, it's going to need to be on, and on a lot. Make sure it's running the way you need it to. I do that by having Dave Drakamp Heating come out for a preseason tune-up. I know I'm in good shape. If you put off buying a unit last year, you can do it this year. Incentives are back. And so are possible tax credits and healthy inventories. Dave Drakamp Heating, Lake Country's preferred Lennox Premier dealer, is here and ready to help. Let them get out to your house and take care of you. Check home comfort items off your spring to-do list with the teams I trust at Dave Drakamp Heating. You'll find out why I always trust them with our family's comfort. DaveDrakamp.com. Sari Lesk at the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Polish Fest organizers cut costs as the event sponsorships drop about 42%. Changes include a switch from draft beer to canned beer and an adjusted advertising budget. GE Healthcare contributes to a $15 million fundraising round by Mediview XR. The augmented reality firm provides technology for surgeons and other healthcare professionals to use while performing procedures. And new menu choices are coming to Buttermint Finer Dining and Cocktails in Shorewood as owner Black Shoe Hospitality looks to reposition the restaurant. Brunch hours are also expanding to include Fridays. I'm Sari Lesk with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
For 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has set the standard for excellence in hospitality. Its reputation for offering impeccable service and luxurious accommodations is simply unmatched. For your next getaway, pamper yourself with a stay at the Pfister Hotel. Enjoy an evening of fine dining at its classic restaurant, Mason Street Grill. Unwind with a skin, body, or hair treatment at the Pfister Well Spa and Salon. Take in live music with a view from the 23rd floor at Blue Cocktail Lounge. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
Wealth-changing question. Is your investment portfolio really customized? Some advisors say they customize them, but all they really do is ask you a few questions, then put all your money in a model portfolio. Here at Creative Planning, each of our private wealth management clients' portfolios is unique. Your investment mix will be based on your custom financial plan. If that's not how your money's managed, you're not getting the customization you deserve. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Years ago, Mom believed in us so much, she wrote a business plan to get the company started, and today, Johnson & Sons Paving is thriving.
And loaded with family.
I'm Jason Johnson.
And I'm Jeff Johnson.
Johnson & Sons Paving is your premier asphalt, concrete, seal coating, and striping company.
From pothole patching to asphalt repairs
to parking lot total reconstructions, we have you covered.
Johnson & Sons Paving is customer-focused and quality-driven.
Call us today.
262-251-5585.
Johnson & Sons Paving.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. Retire well with Kowal.
Retirement during uncertain times can be a scary thought, but you don't have to go it alone. Our fiduciary advisors are here for you. Call 262-522-4040 or visit thekowalway.com.
Oh, Canada, our home of one major league team.
Here he comes. Hey, struck him out swinging. And this one is over.
The Brewers take on the Blue Jays with coverage starting tonight at 5:30 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story, MPD asking for your help finding a hit-and-run driver.
I'm Wyatt Barmore. Pooley, a terrifying collapse in Iowa.
I'm Greg Matzik. The Giannis filter.
I'm Debbie Lazagon. We have an accident 94 eastbound right about at 68th Street. The right lane blocked, and it's going to be a tight squeeze through that area, and it continues kind of heavy all the way through the stadium anyway. Southbound on 41, we're seeing backups from about Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive. Southbound 43, Good Hope down to about Hampton, and then back on the brakes just south of Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, partly cloudy, low 60. Tomorrow, sunny, warm, an isolated thunderstorm, a high of 88. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Milwaukee police are asking the public for help finding the driver involved in a hit-and-run over the holiday weekend on Brady Street. A man was hit early Monday morning and critically injured while crossing the street. Police have released a photo of the 2011 to 2017 silver Jeep Patriot with damage to the front of the hood. You can see that photo at WTMJ.com or on the WTMJ mobile app.
The alderman for this district renewing the call for Brady Street to be closed to cars entirely.
Alderman Jonathan Brostoff believes it'll make the area safer to shut down Brady Street. But retired Brady Street business owner Felix Glorioso of Glorioso's Italian Market tells WTMJ he doesn't want the street closed. He is calling for more speed bumps and stoplights.
You got 5 straight blocks where somebody can speed up intentionally or unintentionally and hurt somebody.
Glorioso's mother, Mary, was hit and killed while walking along Brady Street nearly 20 years ago. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Intense lobbying is underway on Capitol Hill ahead of congressional votes on the McCarthy-Biden budget agreement.
President Biden's budget director, Shalonda Young, said the budget deal reached by the White House and House Republicans is a compromise, calling it a, quote, reasonable bipartisan agreement for both sides. But Young was not ready to declare victory yet, telling reporters, you don't negotiate to see a bill posted. You do it to make sure it gets to the president for his signature. When I asked her if the president felt like he came out ahead, Young told me the American people came out ahead.
So this isn't about Republicans or Democrats. If you get into who won, who didn't, you lost already.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Officials in Davenport, Iowa say 5 people remain unaccounted for from the partially collapsed apartment building. Mike Collier is the cousin of missing Brandon Colvin.
We believe Brandon is in the rubble, and they're trying to tear down this building without actually doing a thorough search to make sure no one is still in the building.
The 6-story apartment building partially collapsed Sunday evening. As of Tuesday morning, 9 people have been rescued.
Now that the camping season has started, the DNR has a few tips to stay safe.
Whether it's high risk or low risk, we want to follow those good safety protocols.
The DNR's Corinna Renier says, especially with the current dry spell, safety is key.
Making your fire in the fire ring that's provided. Don't leave that campfire unattended. Keep that water nearby, and before you crawl into your sleeping bag at the end of the night, douse your fire really well, stir it, douse it again.
Along with that, she reminds everyone to only buy firewood local to the campground you're visiting. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
A week ago, he was the darling of the PGA. Greg's got the story after this.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:04.
This report is sponsored by Wisconsin Kitchen Mart. Higher design, higher style, higher Wisconsin Kitchen Mart.
In the past 70 years, there's something that has never changed. The kitchen. Oh, it may look a little different as the decades have passed, but it's always been where family gathers for meals, memories, and more. Wisconsin Kitchen Mart has always understood that and remains dedicated to making that important space special.
With an expansive 18,000 square foot showroom filled with full-size displays featuring Play-Doh custom cabinetry, award-winning designers, plus their own in-house installation department, let Wisconsin Kitchen Mart transform your kitchen into a true gathering place.
I'm Robert Iskey, Vice President and Designer from Wisconsin Kitchen Mart. We've been remodeling kitchens and baths since 1951 and can help establish a vision for your remodel. We bring the carpenters, plumbers, electricians, and everyone else needed to make your dream kitchen a reality.
Higher design, higher style, higher Wisconsin Kitchen Mart on the corner of West Wisconsin Avenue and 36th Street in Milwaukee. Online at wisconsinkitchenmart.com.
When a new baby is added to the mix, saving money becomes a real priority. Shopping at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores can help. With an abundance of baby clothing and toys, all thrift store priced at pennies on the dollar. You'll spend a little to get a lot. Find great deals on gently used baby clothes and toys at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd in Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. A company's success is tied to its employees' success. To get the best out of your people, consider LAK Group's coaching services. Their diverse group of coaches offer a meaningful balance of expertise and passion. The results of the coaching are unmistakable: increased self-awareness, better critical thinking, and improved leadership skills. Find out how LAK Group's coaching can help your company. Visit transformingcareers.com. LAK Group. Discover your human advantage.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
Brewers outfielder Jesse Winker placed on the 10-day injured list. He's got an issue that will require him to hit the list. Brewers recall Abraham Toro, an infielder from AAA. Brewers take the field tonight against the Toronto Blue Jays. Game 1 of a 3-game series. Milwaukee begins today. 2 games up on the Pirates for first place in the NL Central. Coverage begins at 5:30 on WTMJ. And the NBA Finals begin Thursday night. For the 7th time since 2006, the Miami Heat are in it. Game 1 against the Denver Nuggets will be played Thursday in Denver.
It's time for Extra Points, a sports commentary on Wisconsin's afternoon news. Here's Greg Matzik.
As soon as the Milwaukee Bucks determined they would offer Giannis Antetokounmpo a supermax contract, and likely before, every decision made by the organization was run through one filter. Will this help us keep Giannis? The trade for Drew Holiday keyed the Bucks' championship run and was a retention strategy for the most dominant player in the world. In July of 2019, the Bucks signed brother Thanasis to a free agent deal. With respect to the older brother, Thanasis probably wouldn't be in the NBA if it weren't for the Bucks. Want to keep Giannis around? Sign his brother. The latest in the Giannis retention strategy played out over the weekend when it was reported that Toronto Raptors assistant Adrian Griffin would be the next head coach of the Bucks franchise. Additional reports suggest that Giannis was vehement in his interest in being led by Griffin versus Warriors assistant Kenny Atkinson or former Raptors head coach Nick Nurse. Bucks GM John Horst very clearly recognizes the Bucks championship window remains open so long as Giannis is in a Bucks uniform. As of today, Giannis is under contract for 2 more seasons before a player option in 2025. Keep track of the Bucks offseason moves and play along at home. With every move they make, ask yourself the same question. The Bucks are likely asking themselves, will this help us keep Giannis?
Extra Points is sponsored by All Right Home and Remodeling. When you want it done right, call All Right.
I'm Randy Miller.
No, you're not. I'm Randy Miller, owner of All Right Home and Remodeling.
I'm DJ.
Someday you might be the owner of All Right.
Like you and Daddy?
You'll have to learn that our family business is about more than just our family.
Do it right, call All Right.
Yes, but doing things right also means giving back.
When you want it all right, you call All Right. All Right, so many miles away.
Integrity. Your home's integrity depends on the roof and the windows and the siding and the doors. Really everything on the outside of your home. But when it fails, the integrity, you got to call the people who will not in that situation. That is Siding Unlimited, the best in the business. Father started a company back in the day, was a siding company, called it Siding Unlimited. Eventually, sons Eric and Aaron Brown took over the company and expanded Siding Unlimited's options for you to include all the things I mentioned: roofs, windows, doors, of course, siding, still right there in the name. Ask about outdoor kitchens and patios, pavers, decks, you name it. Siding Unlimited, the best in the business, the best craftsmen as well. Incredible products, incredible craftsmanship, reliable, truthful, and talented. Siding Unlimited. Find them online at sidingunlimited.com.
Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage, available at Navage.com.
Many of our patients have never experienced what life is supposed to be like when you breathe properly. And when you don't, it creates problems for your body. Breathing better will help you live better.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John McCure.
All right, hope you're doing fantastic out there. So glad that you are with us. Happy Tuesday. For many people, it's the start of the work week. Wyatt Barmarpooley is in for Sandy Max the next few days. Greg Matzek's got your sports, Debbie's got your roads, and Adam is producing the show this afternoon. So each week, every Tuesday on Wisconsin's Afternoon News, we give away 4 lower-level seats to the next Brewers home game on a Tuesday. So this time, it's the next home game on a Tuesday is June 6th. So it's a week from today against Baltimore. So we will give away 4 tickets right now. Wyatt, what caller number should we take?
Well, I'm going to do this one in honor of a player who's played for both the Brewers and my hometown Giants. I was fortunate enough to see 2 Giants wins over the weekend over the Brewers. Sorry to all the Brewers fans and my coworkers who had to deal with me. But I'm gonna say we'll honor good Giant and we'll see about good Brewer, Darren Ruff for number 25. Let's take the 25th caller.
25. The Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620. 855-616-1620. Caller number 25, you'll be our lucky winner. Good luck. We'll do this again next Tuesday, 855-616-1620. A very special treat up next. I'm really, really, really looking forward to this. So the guy in charge of identifying service members who have been unidentified, some since World War II in Korea, he's a retired general in charge of our MIA and identification program, who I met over Memorial Day, joins us live, retired general. He is on the hotline with us up next right here on WTMJ. First, a couple of words for Sit Mean Sit Dog training. I love my dogs. They're absolutely fabulous, Bella and Baxter, and they behave better now because of Sit Mean Sit Dog training. They didn't always listen so great. They got really excited and barky around other dogs. That's better now. They come when they're supposed to. They're quiet when they're supposed to be. It's Sit Mean Sit Dog training. Matt and his team's there. They've got the best tools, the best techniques. They've got the best trainers. Take it from me. Do what I did and start with a free consultation at Sit Mean Sit. They've got multiple locations. They will take good care of you. You can have a better dog. It's a piece of cake. SitMeanSitWaukesha.com. That is the website. SitMeanSitWaukesha.com.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
So when you're in a pain spiral, will stem cells or bone marrow harvested from your body and then placed back into your body get you out of it? For those willing to go through a very expensive and not exactly easy process, which is not FDA approved, it might. But for those not willing to pay exorbitant amounts to go through all that, especially knowing that pain relief is not a sure thing, it's not an option. At Rejuvenex, we inject powerful, FDA-approved treatments that reduce inflammation and pain while improving mobility in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees, with some patients experiencing relief for greater than 2 years before repeating the process. I'm Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics, and we are in network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. It's pain relief, really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga, then retired General Kelly McKay. How we doing, Deb?
Well, we got this accident on 94 eastbound right about at 68th Street. The right lane blocked, so just watch out for that. Stays kind of heavy through the stadium interchange, though, too, so just keep that in mind. Westbound side slowing down from 25th Street all the way through the stadium as well. Southbound on 43, I'm looking at delays basically from about Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette interchange and onto 4394 southbound. So giving yourself that extra time would definitely be helpful for you. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 60 degrees. Tomorrow, warm, humid, partly cloudy. Chance for a thunderstorm in the afternoon, a high of 90. On Thursday, chance for a pop-up storm, very warm and humid, a high of 90. On Friday, warm, humid, 88. On Saturday, mostly sunny, a high of 80 degrees. Each day, a little bit cooler along the lake. In Milwaukee right now, mostly sunny and 74 degrees. I emceed the big Memorial Day event at Wood National Cemetery yesterday, and it was a powerful event. It always is, and I thank everybody who came out and celebrated and commemorated our heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice. The keynote speaker was a very impressive retired general from the Air Force, 34 years in the Air Force, and now as impressive is he's the director of the Defense POW MIA and Accounting Agency, DPAA. They basically, this guy's in charge of accounting for our nation's missing personnel from past conflicts. They find them. They identify them, which has become incredibly relevant in the last several years, providing the fullest possible accounting of our missing personnel to their families and to the nation. Kelly McKeag is the director, and he is with us this afternoon. General, thank you so much for being with us.
John, it's a privilege to be with you from Washington, D.C., and more importantly, thank you again for being the master of ceremony at that, you're right, powerful ceremony yesterday at Wood National Cemetery.
Well, it meant a lot to us that you came out and spent your holiday weekend with us here in Milwaukee. I want to ask you, for those that don't know, General, about the DPAA, and it's such important work, tell us about the core mission.
The core mission is simply to search for, find, identify the remains of missing individuals from World War II through Operation Iraqi Freedom. There are close to 81,000 that are still missing. That's an incredible number. And of that, we estimate 37,000 to be recoverable.
Wow. So those that aren't considered recoverable, what does that mean? There must be varying circumstances.
It is. So those are deep water at sea losses. Right now, technology limits us to about 250 feet of water. Anything beyond that, whether it's a submarine, a ship, or an aircraft, is considered non-recoverable.
Are there some nations that don't cooperate with us where our fallen service members lie?
We work in 45 countries all over the world, Europe, Pacific, and all 45 countries step up to the responsibility to assist the United States. There's one exception, and that exception is North Korea.
So even in China or other places where we might not think there's a lot of cooperation, most realize the importance of the mission?
It is, and that's the ironic part about why it's very frustrating about North Korea. We are allowed to speak with China and Russia, and despite the worsening conditions, the bilateral relationship going backwards, the Chinese and Russians still talk to us. And in each case, we have missing in both Russia and China from past wars.
I want to ask you, General, I told the story on the air last week about David Riley, who was on the USS Oklahoma from a small town in central Wisconsin, who your teams identified and brought home. And just on Saturday, he was actually laid to rest there. You told the story to us yesterday about another sailor from Wisconsin who perished on the USS Oklahoma and was recently identified. Can you share that story with us?
Sure. He's a Milwaukee native. His name was Arthur Thaness. He was 17 years old when he joined the Navy in January 1941. Think about that. 11 months before he found himself aboard the Oklahoma, he had just joined the Navy and enlisted in the Navy at the age of 17. Found himself aboard the Oklahoma, and like Seaman Riley, he was entombed in the ship when it was bombed on December 7th, 1941.
So that's incredible. Does it ever amaze you, and you work with this every day, General, that these men that passed away 80 years ago, you are able to identify and bring closure for their families?
You know, it's something, John, that we talk about these families, these Gold Star families, that experience, obviously they know their loved one died in combat, but what makes their loss and their grieving worse is the uncertainty associated with it. And they will carry it generationally and pass it down. And I'm sure you spoke to the Riley family, who some family members never met the seaman. However, they know everything about Seaman Riley.
It's amazing. You're right. You know, and in Riley's case, this was fascinating, and I wanted to ask you a question related to this. He was a foster kid, so he went off to war, and the family he left behind was not a biological family. So he goes off to war and dies on the USS Oklahoma, and he's entombed. His body's recovered. He's buried in Honolulu. You exhumed the body, but then the family that he knew in Wisconsin was not his biological family. And somehow you guys tracked down a biological relative. You must run into cases all the time where there's adoption or other extenuating circumstances, and you become detectives.
We do, and we depend upon, in this case, the Navy, who employ tremendous genealogists. And they scour their records. They scour, and they basically, you're right, they are detectives. In the case of Seaman Riley, they ended up coming to a dead end, recognizing that the DNA that his family provided was not a match. And so in recognizing this, they then spoke to the family, his biological family, who then told them about being adopted.
That's amazing. Former General Kelly McKeag is with us on WTMJ. He's the director of the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency. Tell us the other story that you shared with us about a Korean War vet.
This, again, was a Milwaukeean. His name was Thomas Zimmer. He attended Kosciuszko High School and left before graduating to enlist in the Army again at the age of 17. 2.5 years later, he finds himself in a tremendously brutal battle at the Chosin Reservoir in North Korea. He goes missing, and we lose track of him until we conduct a joint investigation recovery with the North Korean Army. And by the way, back in the late 90s and early 2000s, we actually worked with the North Koreans. Anyway, we find remains, a number of remains. They're not able to be identified until 2 years ago using advanced DNA technology. It's a hit. It's on Thomas Zimmer, and we brought him home, and he's buried at Arlington Park Cemetery.
Wow, just down the road here, not that far. I am amazed by the partnership with the country. So how does this work? You get a hint that maybe in Laos or in Vietnam that there's a jungle location where a helicopter went down. How does that work then with local authorities and your teams?
So our historians and researchers, they will go through battlefield records, they'll interview witnesses, and if they're able to determine an approximate location, then we will send a team out to investigate and survey the site. Assuming they meet with success, we will then bring an archaeologist, anthropologist to excavate the site. And oftentimes, whether it's the beaches of Normandy, whether it's a forest in Germany, or, as you pointed out, the jungles in Laos, we will then send that excavation team to hopefully find remains that we can bring back to one of two laboratories.
Where are the laboratories?
Our main laboratory is in Honolulu, Hawaii, and our second one is in Omaha, Nebraska. The one in Omaha, Nebraska is the one that handles everything found in Europe, and the one in Honolulu handles everything coming from the Pacific.
So as we sit here today, General, do you have teams around the world or on standby to be deployed around the world in case something's discovered or new intel comes about?
Right now, we have 14 teams deployed in 13 different countries. And they have been they usually work there for 45 days. It's a multidisciplinary team led by a scientist, but there's an explosive ordnance technician, there's linguists, there's a photographer to identify the forensic evidence that is found. And it's really incredible work, and it's demanding work, oftentimes in very inhospitable conditions, very remote locations. But these men and women just embrace the mission and embrace the noble responsibility that they have.
It's incredible work. Due to advances in DNA technology, will there ever be another unidentified sailor or soldier?
We don't think so, simply because it wasn't until the early 1990s that DNA actually took root. And so for any service member that entered the military after 1992, they provided a drop of blood that is on a card, stored in a set of files in Dover, Delaware. And so anybody that is lost in combat, whether it was Afghanistan or Iraq or any future conflict, their DNA will be on file, thereby preventing us from having to find a family member that's related.
So the guys on the USS Oklahoma, there were a small handful that have not yet been identified, right?
There were 31. So after the ship was righted 3 years after the bombing, the Navy was only able to identify 35. And so the remainder were buried, commingled And so we ended up disinterring them 6 years ago, I take that back. And there were 13,000 bones that we had to sort through. Now, of that, we were able to identify 362, Seaman Riley being one of the last ones, simply because we didn't have his genealogical tree. And we have 31 others that we are waiting for, hopefully some sort of genealogical evidence that comes in that allows us to then disinter them again for the purpose of identifying.
Retired General Kelly McKeague is the director of the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency. Thank you for the work you do for our nation, for our communities, for our families. We appreciate it, General.
Thanks very much again for the opportunity, John.
It is 5:26 at WTMJ. Amazing, amazing work. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The S&P 500 was flat today to close at 4205. The Dow was off 50 points to close at 33,042. The NASDAQ was up 41 points to close at 13,017. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference. It's Brewers Baseball up next on WTMJ.
Grandview buys homes. Hi, I'm Tom Delich here to tell you Grandview will buy your home in any condition. Wait a minute, you ask. What about water damage?